My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jakey Boy and I are going to break down the entire UFC 309 fight card, giving you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings plays. Jacob's going to be doing it in a Do Bronx shirt. I'm going to be doing it in a Young LA hoodie.
Bronx.
I also have this cool upside-down Prosper hat.
Can I be honest with you, too?
Jacob
while you're
what it was.
Yeah, while we're mentioning this stuff, have we, you know how people say, like, no matter what happens, I'll always be the same. I think we switched up. I got the gold chain, right? I don't know if you guys know this. I got a neck tattoo now, right? I mean, fucking shit.
Oh, he does? He did get it.
I got a couple hand tattoos. Wait. You got the Young LA with the upside down. Did we switch up on the people, Angelo?
I mean,
I think we did. I think we leveled up and switched up.
The difference between last week's stream and this week's stream is pretty dramatic. I forgot you got a neck tattoo. He got a neck tattoo since last week.
Can you see it?
I can see, like, that there's something on your neck. You can't read it or anything. It's small.
Sorry about it. Let me just let me get the ointment and just kind of ointment these down real quick.
Okay. Before we break down UFC 309, let's bask in the glory that has been our success recently. UFC Vegas 100 was a successful card. Almost 3 units in net profit, a 26% return on your investment. But that's not the only card. Let's look at the last 5. The last 5 cards that Jakey Boy and I broke down together, 16.22 units of net profit in 5 cards. 16.22 units of net profit in 5 cards. 26% return on your investment in 5 cards. This is not an accident. It's not a coincidence. The boys are on a heater. I specifically am up 10 of the last 11. Jakey Boy had a dip or two here and there and more than made up for it with the wild success that we have been achieving since UFC Vegas 98.
I think it was 11 of 14, something like that. But there was a couple splits that definitely...
You had a couple split decisions that, like Jose Aldo screwed you. I had the Renat
How many
win.
times have
that
you
helped
put
me.
In a banana split?
Never.
Oh,
Literally.
Come on.
Literally never.
Come on.
Never.
White belt activities.
Oh, I just got a text message from Tiffany saying my daughter scored in her soccer game. So what's absurd is it is 7:30. My children go to bed at 7 p.m. And I don't mess around with that. Like, they go to bed at 7.
Yeah, I know. Because in the middle of summer, it's fucking bright as shit.
It's bright as hell, and they're going to bed. Yeah, and they're going to bed. But this is the last game of the year. She's only 5 years old. She turns 6 next week. She's 5 years old. The last game is on a Tuesday night at 7:15. And I was like, I can't go. And I know it's, missing that's probably not great, but I've been to all the other ones. She scored her first goal 15 minutes into the game. She's a star.
Her first.
You know what's funny? She is her first goal of this game. She's
listen that little slide, little brag there, huh?
There you go. Oh no, she's very good.
I would imagine. That's why I was surprised when you said first goal. I was like, wow, it seems like I would ask her to quit if she hadn't scored a goal. Maybe let's try something else. We're trying to get a college scholarship here. If you're not scoring goals at this age, we need to switch sports and get you on the right track because, I'm about to blow all my money on a lot of other shit. I can't afford college, right?
College is it ain't cheap, and she will be our ticket to free school. What is crazy is she's good for a 5-year-old. She's never played soccer before. This is her first year. She is by far the fastest kid out there. It's not even remotely close, like insanely fast. But she's still learning how to kick the ball. Like she will stop and then do some skip kick nonsense. So she's still learning how to do that.
Lack of coordination.
No, the coordination is there. It's the actual skill.
Doesn't surprise me given the...
You say bloodline so I can slap you. You literally are amazed by her coordination and her athletic abilities.
The craziest thing I had ever seen in my entire life was when I think I just got out of my car or something. I was walking up your driveway, and this was a couple of years ago. And she was
fucking two.
She came just flying down the driveway on a scooter, just a scooter that anybody else would ride, to the point where I thought, do I need to grab her? Like, is this one of those situations where, like, she's not supposed to, doesn't realize how fast she's going? The end of the driveway is right there. I'm like, I don't know what is about to happen because she is going extremely fast, and there's no way that she can control this. Goes down the driveway, just takes a hard right turn, and he heads down the sidewalk, no issue. Just, I looked at you, and I'm like, what the fuck? You're like, you know, what are you going to do?
It is funny. I actually think my oldest is starting to get jealous of her because the physical stuff doesn't come as easy as it does. The little one's just good at everything. Either way.
There's usually only one room for coordination in the family. I think you would agree with it as well. I got it. My sister definitely did not get it. You should see her. She was a varsity athlete in like 3 different sports, but nothing that required coordination. Like,
She could just will her way through it.
Yeah. So, and I think you would agree because, you know, your brother. We've all played pickleball, and I think we know what's going on there.
I definitely got it. Well, what else we got are some winning bets. We've been crushing lately, not just the last card, not just the card before that. I'm up 10 of the last 11. Jacob's up like 11 of the last 14. The last 5 specifically is an all-time run. And this is in a universe where Twitter is just full of people that can't hit a bet with a car. It is insane, the amount of misses you're seeing in the universe.
Year ever. This is the most difficult.
The excuses.
It's crazy. This is all the decision. The judging is terrible. It's like, well, if I can just
the funniest part about the missed capper crybabies is you will see the exact same person 1 week cry, all the favorites won, there was no value in this card, that's why I made no money. And that exact same person will cry, all these giant upsets are ruining the bets this year. I can't make any money. It's like, dude, which way do you want it? Which way do you want it? We want it.
I know how I want it, Angela.
Okay. How would you like it?
What's going on?
That's a dog. He's locked up. He's screaming for food.
It sounds a little bit too human to be.
Oh, you've heard that mutt. It's because Tiff is at the soccer game, so there's nobody to keep the dog entertained. He's just going to cry for food at this door, so I locked him in the bedroom, and he can cry for food over there. He's old and hungry all the time, always. All right, let's go ahead. We got to move on. Guys, if you want to unlock bets as successful as the ones we've been putting on the board the last couple of weeks, you can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Quick become a member. It's freaking $10 for an entire month. What's today? November 12th. This will get you to December 12th. WeWantPicks.com.
Listen, and honestly, I the last 2 weeks I've sat here and I told you guys to just give us a chance. There's some people that have sat here, listened to me say it twice now, and didn't give us a chance, and now you're like, damn, did I miss out? You probably didn't miss out. There's still good stuff to come, but fuck you, buddy.
Dude,
I tried. I said I knew we were gonna have success. I knew how those cards were gonna go. I tried. You know what? You don't want to sign up for $10 a month.
That's on you. You know what's so funny? After the success, I was worried about last week. It felt like a weird card. I said it in a few videos. I'm like, I don't know. And I put up over a unit of profit. And for Big Ange, that's a 23% ROI. And I was a little nervous about that card. So once it hit, the safety parlay hit for the 6th week in a row. I'm losing track now. It's going so well. I went into the Discord. I screenshot all of my bets and all of Jacob's. And I added everyone. The Discord includes premium and non-premium. And I said, if you're not a premium member, fuck you. Just like Talladega Nights. If you don't chew Big Red, fuck. Dude, I had a premium member
Big
that
Red
was
is
like
a little bit too intense for me.
It is. It burns your mouth.
It's you know, the other thing too that was really bad that my dad always had. So you'd have to like it's the only thing. It was the only gum that he had. So if you wanted gum, you just had to force yourself to chew it. Was cinnamon Trident, which also was like fucking.
Yeah, I used to like. I had a phase where I liked the cinnamon gun, but then it was just too much. Once True 5, no, not 5, whatever the 5 is, came out. Once that came out, that was great. And now it comes in the big, huge plastic container.
Orbit used to have the best commercials too.
It's too small. Either way, I did that in the Discord, and there was a premium member that was like, how dare you talk to? It's like, dude, all right, get the fuck, Jesus, man. Nobody knows how to have fun anymore. Holy shit. Listen, premium membership is more than just some copy-paste bets. Yes, the copy-paste bets are wildly successful, but I know there's a giant chunk of you that like to do your own research, like to figure it out yourself, and you just need some tools, some help. A shortcut, if you will. The data analyzer is that. Not only does it have a tape index in it, and I've gotten like 5 emails this week alone. Hey, how do I find the links to the videos? Where's the tape index?
The zebra gum. That was the best, wasn't it?
That sucked. The
No,
little
it
kid
was
gum.
literally the best.
It
5
lost.
seconds
It lost
of all
flavor. Yeah,
time.
yeah. It lost
Literally,
flavor.
the best
instantly.
5 seconds of all time was when that would be in your mouth, just sloshing around.
They couldnn't figure out how to sloshing, disgusting,
The
dribbling
second
down your
I
chin.
would put it in my mouth,
Yeah.
and it would fill my mouth, it was the best
Hmm.
feeling. It would only last 5 seconds, but it was a great 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, either way, the data analyzer has way more than 5 seconds worth of content. That has every single fight for every single card officially announced and listed. And you can pull up the fighters. You can work your way through any of the stats, the data points. The chart will update. You'll see plot points on the chart. Click on any of those plot points, and that's how you watch the tape of that specific fight. You're also going to get access to the best DraftKings ownership projections on the planet. Here's the numbers from last week, UFC Vegas 100. We beat every single meaningful competitor on the planet. And I'm not including Joey Bean's Patreon. I'm including the Awesimos, the Roto Grinders, Scotastics. I think 2 of those are the same company. But you get the point. The giant TFS companies with unlimited funds, they can't compete with our ownership projections. They will be preloaded in the DraftKings Optimizer. You will get access to the line movement tracker. This is going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. You're going to get the Prop Hunter, a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find your prop bets. And you're going to get more than just Jacob and I. Jacob and I put up some good numbers.
Artem had a perfect card.
That's where I was going. Artie, baby, picked a perfect card. And
We had
while
a lot of fun with him in the live stream, too. By the way, thanks for the live stream, guys. You guys have been awesome for the live stream. It's been a lot of fun. He was in there all night. Have a lot of fun with Artie. Artie's a good guy, man.
Yeah, Artem's solid. What's so funny, you know where you guys are going to need Artem? Friggin' UFC China next week. Damn, that card is weird. And Artem knows all those APAC regional guys.
Do you know what a Chinese motorcycle sounds like?
Don't get us canceled. Don't get us canceled. Don't get us Shane Gillist.
Yeah, obviously Dr. Disrespect is kind of a piece of shit for what he is at this point, but back in the day, that was one of the funniest clips of all time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Dr. Disrespect, I think he like motorcycle or something. It's pretty wild.
I'll look it up. Don't say it here. We can look it up separately. But yeah, Artem picked that perfect card. The funniest part about that is last week had 11 fights. 10 favorites won. Only one underdog won. And he picked him. It was Gaston Bolanos. But you know what's so funny when we break down cards? I see, listen, our audience is huge at this point, and we appreciate all of you. But that also means there's a bunch of idiots. No, well, true, because there's a bunch of idiots. If I picked a perfect card like Artem did, I went 9-2. If I went 10-1, the comments would have been, he picked every favorite. Bah. And then you had a comment today that somebody said, all he does is pick underdogs. He's just picking all these underdogs. If you flip the odds, he'd pick the other way. Dude, people, they don't know what they want. Comment? That was on your quick pick video. I deleted it because I'm like, fuck this guy.
I picked every favorite.
Dude, people are idiots. We're just discovering this now. People are idiots. There's a lot more idiots than normals out there. Well, let's find out who they are. We're gonna break down this card.
Just real quick, a little bit of announcement here. A little bit of an exciting announcement. I did something today that I had never done before, and honestly, going into it, was definitely a little bit anxious. But as it was going on, it was exhilarating. It was probably better than I thought it was going to be, and a little bit less sweaty probably than I thought it was going to be. I raw dogged for the first time today.
What does that mean? You went to the gym without headphones? Is that what that means?
Yeah, it was supposed to be funny, but you just cut off the punchline and just went straight to it. So
I just was trying to figure
to
out
be
what
like, what are you talking about? What?
Well, I knew what it was.
And then I was gonna keep doing these clues, and it was gonna be funny, and you would be like, "What are you talking about?" And then I was gonna be like, "I went to the gym without headphones on accident." But I mean, nice job.
My bad on that.
So fucking.
I guess I'm very good at solving problems. Yeah, look at me solving problems instantly. Can't get by me. Context clues are my thing.
I mean, that literally kind of ruined my night. I had that whole thing planned.
I didn't know that you had a bit planned like that.
Wasn't a bit. It was just you literally just jumped on my punchline. I have a punchline I was setting up, and you, instead of just playing the game, you stepped all over it.
Okay, sorry about that. My
I'd
bad.
like a more sincere apology.
I apologize for ruining the pre-scripted joke that you had.
I accept.
Okay. Become a premium member. WeOwnPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. Also, Saturday is a pay-per-view, which means it is a vlog day. We have some mail already. I've shown this a few times, but this one letter is written out to Angelica. Who knows what's in here? I can see that this has the top to a soda can, so God knows. And then we have this one from our buddy Thomas Rinker, who always sends us some pretty cool letters. If you want to send anything to be open on the vlog, you can do so. We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. Couple of super chats, and then we'll break down this card. Luis Rodriguez, $1.99. You guys are Batman and Penguin. Love you guys. Oh, is Jacob Penguin because he's little in the way he walks like a penguin? That makes sense. Thank you, Luis. Apparently that Penguin TV show is pretty good, by the way.
I heard it's good. Did it? I think it ended maybe last night or something. Was it the finale or whatever? I haven't watched it, but
I haven't watched it either.
I don't think I can get into something like that, but it's supposed to be pretty good.
It's a mob show. I guess it has nothing to do. There's no superhero shit at all. It's just a mob show.
This is how we determine that donation. One of us is Batman. Let's hear it. Go.
I'm Batman.
What the fuck was that?
I'm Batman.
Why does it fucking sound like that?
Okay, fine.
Say it again. Do it again.
I'm Batman. Okay.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
I did say man, like he's Jamaican.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
279 Canadian from
Batman.
A says, love you guys. So glad Jacob isn't singing and moaning. We appreciate you, and I am glad as well.
Request songs in the chat, and I'll just sing them at random.
Do not.
We already have. If you guys want our breakdowns,
Batman
Angel's
was
got his quick pickup. I've got my quick pickup. We've given our breaking downs on this card. Now we're just going to blast this out. We're going to do karaoke half the time.
We're not doing it.
We're going to...
Nope.
I think we might.
Let's go ahead and break down this card. We're 17 minutes into a breakdown. We have 12 fights that we're going to break down. They just officially announced a 13th fight minutes ago. I will break that down in the DraftKings video later
I'll break
this
it
week.
down right now, and you can timestamp it. Listen, guys, the guy he's fighting, Roberto Romero. First of
You
all,
didn't even say who was fighting.
it's David Onama was fighting
There you
Roberto Romero. The good news is when you search Roberto Romero's name, you have to type in like MMA afterwards, so he's not like super well known and like and it's a pretty common name, but it's just funny when you have to do that for some fighters. But he's a kid. He's 24 years old. He's a grinding. He wants to get to the wrestling. He wants to get on your hips. He is good at. His pressure is really, really good. A little bit loose in the pocket. He's definitely a kid to, I would say, keep an eye on because he's at a pretty good camp in California. I can't remember which one it is. Definitely talented, can use his hands to set up the shots. He wants to get the shots. Not the greatest entries in the world, but he will be a grinder if he needs to be. But David Onama, he knows how to wrestle. He knows how to grapple. He's going to be the much better, powerful striker. So I don't know what the odds are going to be, but I got to imagine Onama's going to be like minus 500 or something like that. But shouldn't have any issues. But the kid, I think, is going to be good in the future. It's only 24. So that's the breakdown. Onama wins.
Thank you. I didn't do any research, so thanks for that breakdown. I'll do my my side of that in the DraftKings video in a couple of days.
On Batman.
Opening up the UFC 309 fight card, we got Veronica Hardy taking on Eduarda Moura. Veronica Hardy 9-4 in her career, 4-1 in her last 5, and she has on a 3-fight win streak. She's taking on Eduarda Moura, 10-1 in her career, 4-1 in her last 5. She is coming off her first ever loss in the UFC. Veronica Hardy, we all know her as a fast, accurate striker, and that's because she is a 5-time Taekwondo champion. She's got good power, good footwork. She's a technical striker, very light on those feet, and very fast. She likes to bounce around. She'll charge forward with lefts and rights, and then she'll circle out. Not just a striker, though. She's got some clean takedowns. We've seen that time and time again. Great game planning, high fight IQ, and she can get fights to the grounds if she needs to. She is coming off a decision win over J.J. Aldrich, where she was fast as hell and she was hitting people pretty hard. She's taking on Eduarda Moura. She's a grappler on her side. She's got solid takedowns. Good. What are you doing to that dog? That dog never makes noises. Is she okay?
What was that noise? I only heard something. I think she.
I heard her go. Oh, I heard her go.
Maybe she did. I don't know.
No, she just never makes
Here's
noise.
something.
Mom.
Hey, did you hear something?
Well, this stream's gonna get interesting when somebody snatches you up. I'll see it on your. I'll see it on your glasses. Eduarda Moura's on the. Idiot. Eduarda Moura on the other side. She's a grappler. Good takedowns, good submissions. She is aggressive with that grappling. She wastes absolutely no time coming across the cage, initiating a takedown, and absolutely working. Her striking is a bit sloppy, but like so many other people, the striking is there just to set up those takedowns. She is coming off that loss to Diniz Gomes where she had the takedowns, but she couldn't hang with the striking. And that's what I'm worried about for Eduarda here. She might lose this fight the exact same way she lost her last fight. Get the takedowns, have success in grappling, but get outstruck on the feet because Veronica can bang. I think she can win this fight. Obviously, it's New York City. And if New York City doesn't judge fights the same way that Vegas does, Eduarda Moura might win this fight just with the takedowns and the control. But if they look at it like Vegas and a takedown, something has to happen, you need to do damage, and it doesn't matter if it's just a takedown, then Veronica Hardy can sneak it out the exact same way that Eduarda's last opponent did. I'm going to pick Veronica Hardy here, but I do think these odds are, I mean, they're not wide per se, but this is definitely a tough fight for Veronica. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I like Veronica Hardy as a fighter, as a person. Beautiful. I mean, her eyes are, like fucking Jesus Christ. What a piercing stare does she have. I mean, just even looking at her, that picture right there is just absolutely insane. And as a fighter, she's definitely improved. I mean, she stopped fighting for a while. I think she was worried about concussions and stuff like that. Came back and has looked like a different person than her first UFC stint. Really fast striking, really good in and out. Okay, takedown defense, but if you take her down, she is going to work, right? She's not somebody who's just going to lay there. She's going to constantly working, but she is a little bit, I would say, undersized for this division. It's 125. She probably should go to 115, but I think she does this not to really, obviously she's trying to win every single fight, but I think she knows I'm not going to be a champion, but it's something I can do. I'm good at it. I think Dan is really involved in her, and it's a fun thing for them to do together since his career's over. So I think that's why she stays at 125. Eduarda Moura now.
I'm not laughing at you. Just reading comments.
I never laugh.
Literally always.
Snicker. Interrupt a single one of your breakdowns.
I didn't interrupt. I'm enjoying that. We have a very lively crew of 400 people watching the show, chatting away, and I'm just reading the comments, enjoying the fans, fan base.
What caught your eye?
Nothing about you. It had nothing to do with you.
Just read it out loud.
Does Jacob even have a girlfriend? Not anymore. So I don't know why that back to back. I'm sorry. It was at your expense. That's why I didn't want to bring it up. I was just reading the comments. That's what I'm saying, man.
Okay. Thanks for the comment, Obi Chuckwa Damage.
Ift.
Obi Chuckwa Dip Fuck. Yeah, now we got Eduarda Moura, who was at 115, never made weight at 115. She's a former champion at 115 and at 125. Was really cutting hard to get the 115. But when she was there, she was much bigger than the girls, and she basically was just bullying everybody that she was fighting. Now at 125, I believe that this is going to be a good change for her. This isn't like a one-off type thing. She made an Instagram post about it. I'm going to be healthier. I feel better. We're going to make the change to 125. So now I think she's still going to be bigger than Veronica in this fight, being like, I mean, they're both kind of tweeners, but Eduarda definitely was not a tweener at 115. 125 is definitely her class. Really good takedown. She's at Jhonata's camp, so her and Jhonata kind of, obviously is not quite as explosive as Jhonata, but you can see the same similarities. They set up shots. Once they get in it, they dive on a blast doubles, right? This isn't like trying to grab singles. This isn't like Erin Blanchfield, right, where it's like doesn't know how to close the distance and try to get to these body locks and stuff. She is shooting blast doubles. She is strong, and it's not just, what I love too is it's when she was bullying girls, it wasn't just all physicality. You saw the technique there as well. The takedowns, you saw that technique. It wasn't just grabbing a girl and being bigger. All the technique was there in the transitions, in the scrambles, in the control on top, in the jiu-jitsu, in the wrestling. I think the striking is going to come back around. I think at 125, she's going to look a little bit better. Maybe not quite against Veronica Hardy because she is fast, but the girls aren't quite as fast at 125 as they are at 115. Obviously, she went toe-to-toe with Diniz Gomes, who we've seen is no slouch, right? And what I love the most is, even though she was smoking every single girl up to that point, and we've talked about this before, when fighters are just constantly beating the fuck out of everybody, and then they run into adversity, what do they turn into? Right? Are they going to fold? Are they going to quit? And we've seen that time and time again of all these prospects that once they get adversity, they just fucking quit. They fold up, they turtle up, they're done. And Eduarda never quit against Diniz. I mean, she shot like 24, 25, 26 takedowns, was still trying to, she was tired. Her body was failing her, but mentally she was there, and her heart was in that fight as well. I just think she's going to have too much success on the ground with Veronica. Veronica can get controlled by bigger girls. You saw that in Horth when she finally started wrestling and grappling in the third round. You saw that with JJ in the third round. Veronica, with all that movement, will start to slow down as well. I think Eduarda has enough explosion to get takedowns in the first. And if they start slowing down, I think Eduarda can gut her way out to a couple more takedowns in the second and the third to win this fight, maybe even find a finish. So, I like Eduarda Moura here. And I've been pretty good picking the females, Angelo.
I saw the stats. You tweeted them.
73%, 9 of the last 10. And if Aaron won, or I mean if fucking... Oh,
Rose?
Here comes the blanks.
No, you picked Aaron. Oh, yeah.
If Rocky won, which I think a lot of people thought that she won, and then what was the other bad split? I can't remember, but if those were I would have won like 14 of the last 16 or 15 of the last 16 or something. It's crazy.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I think it is funny that Veronica's like a medium-sized favorite here because Eduarda's the one who basically was undefeated till her last fight, and she fought an absolute killer. So it's like, you know, while Veronica's had some recent success, she's not undefeated.
I mean, terrible. Obviously, she started getting tired and stuff, but she got some takedowns. She had some control.
Yeah.
She showed that she's got a fucking chin because Diniz can fucking hit, and she was landing some shit on Eduarda, and Eduarda was just kind of walking through shit. So I think this 125 class, you're going to see a pretty
pretty what?
Say again.
$8,700 in DraftKings Fantasy for Veronica Hardy. That's a full-time fade whether you think she wins or not. If she wins, it's going to be with accurate striking and takedown defense. It's not going to be with a drop. It's not going to be with takedown. It's not going to be with control. So you're not going to score very well. $8,700 is wildly expensive and a shockingly high number for Veronica Hardy. If you think Eduarda wins, that $7,500 might be the best value in DraftKings Fantasy. Between the takedowns, the control, the fact that she is priced under $8,000, that may be worth it, and I may throw her in my lineup, even though I kind of was on the other side there. If you do want to check out all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and everything else, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. At the top, it's only freaking $10 for an entire month. Just check the comment section of any recent video to see the wild success that we and they have been having. A couple of quick comments.
We both have, I don't know if you saw that, but me and Eduarda both have neck tattoos.
Oh, wow. Yeah, 2 peas in a pod. You both have blue eyes, too. Couple of quick comments. Nothing about you. Oh, I don't know why I have. Oh, that is why I put this here. So this is when you said, what are you laughing at? Nothing about you. When I picked up my youngest today from school, picked her up, and as soon as I get her and she's like walking to the car, she goes, "Don't look in my binder." Like the first thing she says, "You don't need to look in my binder." I was like, "What?" And if you like do something bad in school, they write it in your binder. So I was like, "Did they sign your binder?" And she just looked at me. She's like, "Just don't look in my binder." And then we get in the car and she starts crying. And I guess the music teacher said she wasn't sitting still. But it was just so, dude, kids are so stupid. Don't look in my binder. If she didn't say anything, I might not have looked at her binder. But don't look in my binder was very like, I better check this damn binder.
Oh, boy, a little bit of a lack of intelligence there for sure.
Well, she doesn't sit still, which is usually a key to high intelligence. And also, Kevin says, "Love the hat. Nice Riz, Angie Riz. I showed up to the stream with this hat. It's Prosper, the amazing town I live in, upside down and backwards or whatever the hell." Jacob was like, "What's that? I've never seen that. Why would it be upside?" You guys have seen the upside down text hats, right? It can't just be me. I'm not even fashionable age. Although today I got the Young LA and the upside down, and
I
the
thought,
colors
honestly,
match.
Before I even asked the question, I was trying to figure out what the
was
fuck
wrong with my
I
camera?
was. Yeah, I was like, wait, the camera's not backwards because I can see the Young LA, and then I was like looking at it, I was like, but this is back, and I was like, but it's like upside down. So finally, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with your hat?
No, that's why the Dallas
What the fuck
upside
is that
down.
noise?
Yeah, you can hear. It's my fancy board that I do the hot takes in front of. It just changed to
God.
say Christmas is in 1 month, 12 days, and 3 hours.
What if all of a sudden it just started typing random shit?
Somebody hacked it? Like I
Yeah,
see
like,
you,
hey,
you
Angelo.
fat goblin.
Put the lotion down, big boy.
In my office, never.
Oh, come on.
Next up, at UFC 309, we got Bassil Hafez taking on Oban Elliott. This is an interesting fight to break down because I bet on it, and the line movement has been interesting. We got Bassil Hafez 9-4 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off that decision win over McGhee Gall, taking on Oban Elliott, 11-2 in his career, 5-0 in his last 5. He is on a 7-fight win streak. We'll start on the Oban side. He's a big-time favorite here, and that line continues to widen. He's a well-rounded guy. He does have 15 full minutes of cardio, plenty of tools in his bag. When he's striking, he likes to dance around the outside, then he'll fire off some overhands to close that distance. He is fast. He is athletic. He's got some flashy spins, some okay takedown defense. If he is taken down, he will work to his feet. He doesn't really chase submissions that aren't there. He's coming off that decision win over Preston Parsons, where they exchanged some takedowns, but Oban had the cleaner striking. He's taken on the durable, the grinding, the impressive, the manly, masculine Bassil Hafez. He's a heavy-handed grappler. His striking is loose. It is powerful. And even though you're going to see like check hook knockout highlights while breaking down some tape, he's not really a striker. He has knocked some people out because he does have big hands, but he is a grappler through and through. He'll shoot some blast doubles. He'll try to maintain some position. He'll throw elbows down on top. He's a high-paced guy both on the feet and on the ground. His cardio can fade. It's not limitless, but that's not till later in the fights. He's coming off that busy win over Mickey Gall where he did have 3 takedowns. Oban's the favorite here, I mentioned. It is continuing to widen all the way up to minus 250. And I get it. It makes sense, right? He's got plenty of cardio. He's a well-rounded guy. But he also is not very dangerous. He doesn't hit incredibly hard. He's not really knocking people out, smoking people. So he's a busy guy that has a well-rounded tool set. And if Bassil shows up and he has cardio a little bit better than he typically has, I think he can work. I think he can come in here, bully a little bit, get some takedowns out, work, steal a round or two. I like Bassil Hafez to steal this fight. I think he can win. The odds are continuing to widen here. Oh, I never interrupt. You did this exact same thing when I picked Brandon Royval. Same noises.
I was laughing
everything.
at a comment in the chat.
Okay. Which one? Elliott by decision? That is laughable. What do you think of this fight?
I like Bassil Hafez. There is no doubt that is a tough son of a bitch. I mean, the way that he was eating shots against Jack Della Maddalena, you saw him eating shots against Mickey Gall. Actually got dropped a little bit by Mickey Gall. He is literally one of those guys that will just eat shots and smile at you and say, like, let's go, like, bring it. He definitely is a wrestler. It's what he wants to do. But if he's not wrestling, he can kind of get caught up in that kind of brawling type of style. He's just marching forward, head on the center line, eating shots to want to swing some wild shots on the way back. And if he hits you, it's definitely going to hurt. It's a big, powerful dude. If he gets you to the ground, he can definitely do some things there. The issue is, I do believe that Oban Elliott is just going to be the way better, cleaner striker. And you saw that he was able to withstand and out-grapple a guy like Preston Parsons, where if you put Preston Parsons and Bassil in a wrestling grappling match, I think Preston holds his own or even might do a little bit better than Bassil. So he's already tested against a pretty good grappler. He was defending the takedowns. When he got taken down, he knows how to sweep. He knows how to get back to his feet. Preston is definitely more dangerous in like the jiu-jitsu, and Oban Elliott didn't have any issues with that. Even had like Kimura sweep at some time. He knew he was getting taken down. Boom, grabbed that Kimura, flipped him off him, got back to his feet. He's very tricky everywhere, to take a word from you. And I just think he's better everywhere. I fully respect Bassil and his toughness, but when you're tough, that means you're getting hit, And you even saw Mickey Gall throw in a little trip takedown like in the third round of that fight as well. So if you're getting knocked down, lit up, and taken down by Mickey Gall, I think Oban's going to be all right.
Yeah, listen, I mean, he's a big fan. It's
We
funny
Want Pick says, Nate, I'm not fat, you fatso.
Nate said, Angelo doing the fat dude shirt adjustment. No hate, I do it too. You're fat. I'm not fat. You might do it. That's not what I did.
Somebody said you look like a off-duty sheriff right now.
Howdy. Listen, I get it. Bassil Hafez is a well-rounded guy. And yeah, all the comments are basically Bassil got dropped by Mickey. What a joke. First of all, we're going to talk about Mickey. Mickey's a good fighter. He's the next fight we're going to bring down. Mickey's not bad. He was just sort of rushed. And Bassil got dropped because he's just moving forward at 1,000,000 miles an hour, not stopping, not slowing down. Why are we already forgetting what he did against Jack Della Maddalena? That dude showed up on a day's notice and had a good amount of success.
The only success he had was when Jack tried to guillotine him for no reasons.
He had nice takedowns. Throwing people around.
He had 3 of 20 takedowns on 3 guillotine attempts.
Oh, so he had 3 takedowns. Got it.
On guillotine attempts, yeah.
Great. So he defended submissions and had 3 takedowns.
Yeah,
that's impressive. That's impressive. Dude, people are loving the outfit today. Thank you guys. Tiffany is so lucky, dude.
You're gonna really, I feel you're really gonna put it on her tonight, aren't you? That new confidence. What do you think?
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, 4 or 5 minutes.
No,
you've been over 5 before.
The more excited I am, the less it's gonna be. Just
really, if you loved your woman, you would focus and you could do things for her. Just disappointment. If you loved her, you would focus. It's just a focus issue.
All right. Well, I'll think about other things. $7,400 in DraftKings Fantasy from my guy Bassil. I trust him. I think I will throw him in my lineup. At the very least, if you're building multiple DraftKings Fantasy lineups, there's a lot of you watching right now. A lot of people are going to watch this video. Don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Hey, what are those DraftKings numbers? It's DraftKings Fantasy. You build a lineup with a budget. You compete against other people with that lineup, just like fantasy football or any other fantasy sport. The lower the price point, the more room you have for higher price fighters. This card is juiced. We have a bunch of people that are going to score really well, but they're priced accordingly. So you need some affordable fighters. In the last fight, Eduarda Moura was $7,500. Solid price point. Bassil Hafez in this fight, $7,400. I think that's a decent price point as well. I think he can get some takedowns. I think he can have some control. I think he can pull off the win.
How many takedowns do you think he's going to get?
3.
I'll go under. How much money?
2. I said 2.
I'll go under. How much money?
I'll bet you $100 straight up. You're going under. 2's a push.
$500.
Oh no, you're going under. It's not even 2. Isn't even a push.
No, 2's a push.
I win because it's not under 2.
2's the number. I'm not going to just do 1. 2's the number.
Okay, fine. $100 straight even.
$500.
No, $100.
Such a fucking pussy.
What if he finishes Oban with the first takedown?
This guy's got young LA on. This guy's got the upside down hat. Right, got his ears pierced over the weekend.
No, I didn't.
Diamond. Well, you did. Was wearing diamond studs all weekend randomly. This guy's switching up. Now it's time to man up.
I just talked about the kids that I have to feed, the family I need to support. I'm not throwing $500 on some made-up bet, some absolute made-up bet on the street.
That's the difference between me and you. I expect to win,
family,
and you expect.
As soon as I said it, I was like, that might have been a little mean. All right, well, while he's working on his emotions, we got a couple of super chats. $5 from Crips Keeper. Truth be told, the best cappers on MMA. Jacob's locks are fire. Angelo's safety parlay is 100%. Thank you both. The safety parlay, to be fair, it doesn't hit at 100%. It hits at like 70-something%, which is incredible. I don't have this week's yet. I will have one up. Just got to look, take my time. We're on a streak. What happens when we get a streak is the pressure builds. And the pressure is building. I've hit 6 in a row, and it gets a little more nerve-wracking, a little more, can I get the 7th? Can I get the 8th? So the safety parlay will be up soon. Thank you very much for the 5 spot. A little more love. John Paul said, best cappers, no BS. Marty OG, mentioned the outfit. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that. It's all love today. This is what happens, what a little win streak will do for you. I'll get to the next fight in a second. What is so funny, though, as soon as we have a bad week, which it's been a very, very long time, all the people that hate our guts for no reason whatsoever have nothing to complain about. And the minute we slip up, you're going to climb out of the woodwork. But for now, appreciating the love. Tarkington said, what is on the menu for this weekend? I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. Become a premium member. WeOnPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. Hey, are you, maybe the timing of this question isn't spectacular. Somebody asked when I'm cooking this weekend. Are you going to come this weekend?
Fucking not now.
Yeah, that's why I figured the timing wasn't great to ask that question. $2 super chat from Brian Fisher. Jones and Charles by KO or sub. Easy. I mean, that's not terrible, although we'll talk about Michael Chandler. He's looking real nice. This laugh again?
Say that again? He's looking
I said real nice. $1.99 from Nate B. No hate, Ange. Much love. I just like joke. What did Nate say?
Might be a homosexual. What?
I wonder what Nate said that he's saying no hate, all love. He must have said something nasty that I didn't see. Well, I'm going to go find it now. Thanks, Nate. Bought your way out of trouble. Next up, at UFC 309, we got Mickey Gall taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. Mickey Gall, 7-6 in his MMA career. 1-4 in his last 5. He is looking for his first win in over 3 years. He's taking on Ramiz Brahimaj, 10-5 in his career. 2-3 in his last 5. He is alternating wins and losses. We'll talk about Mickey Gall. You guys were using him as a barometer of success for the Basel breakdown. Mickey Gall is better than people are going to give him credit for. Yeah, the record's not spectacular, but that's because he started his career in the UFC. They brought him in at the beginning of his career. Before he had any time, he brought him in 2016, before he had any time to fine-tune his skills on the regional scene, he was in the UFC. He fought CM Punk, beat him. He fought Sage Northcutt. If you're new to the UFC and watching this sport, Sage Northcutt was a legitimate prospect that was doing quite well. And so when Mickey Gall had those 2 big wins in a row, the UFC was like, oh shit, this guy might be really good. And then they rushed him. And then he lost a bunch of fights. I mean, he fought Mike Perry when Mike Perry was a dangerous striker very early in his career. Mickey Gall is a very good wrestler, very good grappler. Striking is improving. It's not amazing. But he's a well-rounded guy. He's got all those skills. The grappling and the wrestling is really where he shines. Overall, he's tough as hell. He's taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz Brahimaj is an accomplished grappler. I've heard everything from world champion to, multi-division black belt champion. But he's a very good grappler. He doesn't use his grappling as much as he should. And even though he is an accomplished grappler, he doesn't really get fights to the ground. He can grapple well off his back. He can grapple well on top. When he strikes, he's got some good power in his hands, but his striking isn't amazing, and that's not really how he's going to win any fights. He's got 10 wins, all 10 are by submission. He is absolutely 100% submission or bust, and he's coming off that loss to Temba Garimbo, where he couldn't defend the takedowns, and on his back, he couldn't really make anything happen. Mickey Gall should win this fight. He should win this fight. I almost bet on it. I decided not to because, the record is not... He is 1-4 in his last 5. He hasn't won in 3 years. He's on this card because I believe he's a Jersey guy. He might be Pennsylvania, but that's why he's on this card.
Amish.
Well, not all Pennsylvania is Amish, but a good chunk. You know what's so funny? Real quick pivot. So when my wife moved, I met my wife in Connecticut. She's a Texan, and I met her in Connecticut. She drove from Texas to Connecticut.
Settle in, guys.
It'll be quick. She drove from Texas to Connecticut. I never met her before, and she called me. Because, we have a mutual friend in Dallas, and he was like, hey, if you're going to Connecticut for work, here's my buddy's number. Yeah, here's my buddy's number. Worst case scenario, you just know a human being. So anyway, we were talking on the phone, and she was like, I just saw an Amish guy driving a car. I was like, what? She's like, I saw an Amish guy driving a car. I was like, what? No, you didn't. They can't drive. She's like, I just swear to God, it was a Hasidic Jew. It's like, they're not Amish. They look, I get it. They look Amish, but the car was the dead giveaway. That was not an Amish person. Which is funny because being from the Northeast, you see everything. Not being from the Northeast, you kind of get exposed to things later in life. I think Mickey Gall wins this fight.
Did you watch Zoom as a kid?
Zoom?
Yeah.
I don't think so. What's Zoom?
Well, then I don't want to hear about Cultured.
I tried to find Carmen Sandiego all over the world. Saw all those places.
What about Gullah Island?
Sounds familiar, but
Come in, let's play together in the
yes.
sunny weather. Let's all go to Gullah Gullah Island. Binya, Gullah Gullah.
All right. Anyway, I think McGhee wins this fight. He's a very good grappler. I don't see him getting subbed here, and he can control the takedowns. He could probably have success striking. Ramiz does hit hard. McGhee has been knocked out. McGhee's going to be the pick, though, but scared money don't make money. I will not be making money on this fight. Your turn. Yes, that was supposed to be a smooth transition, but
I know, but usually you say,
sat there looking at it.
Usually it's always like Jakey.
Yeah, but now I'm wearing my cool kid clothes, so it's supposed to be a cool transition, and you blew it.
Maybe do like a spin in the chair and then point. Practice that real quick. Kick the thing back, spin in the chair and then point. Let's do it back.
And I don't see McGhee Gall getting submitted. I think he can control the grappling on his side. Was it not great? Was that not great? I don't know what it looked like, but it felt smooth. I'm going to be honest with you. Was it not? Was it not smooth? Who do you think wins this fight, Jacob?
It was perfect, Angelo.
Thank you so much. You did this with the dog.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people see in Ramiz Brahimaj, to be honest with you. Obviously, he's supposed to be this high-level wrestler, high-level grappler more than a wrestler probably. All these submission wins. He was supposed to come in off a layoff against a wrestler, kind of a sloppy wrestler in Tema Grimbo, and I honestly thought that he was going to have some success in that fight. Then he comes in, and Grimbo's just kind of laying on his hips. He has him pinned against the fence, and the guy just looked uninterested. You're coming 2 years off. You're finally back in the UFC. You're trying to prove a point here against an opponent who's going to probably bring the fight to the ground, which is where you want to be. Let's hit some sweeps. Let's try to do something. And he looked fucking uninterested. I've never seen McGhee Gall look uninterested in a fight. Like, he doesn't always win the fights. He might get knocked out. He might have this happen, right? But he's always in the fights. He's always trying, right? And you saw that against the Bassil fight. I mean, he was lighting Bassil up. He got a takedown. He was defending the takedowns. I think McGhee Gall is going to have kind of a, I wouldn't say a resurgence in his career. Like, I think he's going to make a fucking title run. But I think there's a lot of people in this division that McGhee Gall can beat. And I think it starts with Ramiz. I like him. I bet him. Not quite straight up because, as you mentioned, it is kind of, a lot of McGhee Gall flashbacks. I mean, there's 6 of them. So, but I like McGhee Gall.
There we go. I think he should win. I just was like, I can't bet on this, man. If I'm like, what am I doing? So I didn't pull the trigger. But I do think he wins because Ramiz has to submit him to win. And Mickey's a very good grappler, like a very good grappler. So I just don't see him getting subbed. It's pretty straightforward. If you do want to check out all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, you want to find out what the optimizer thinks you should do with this DraftKings situation, you can do so now. It's $10 for an entire month. You're going to get all the way out to December, having to look, December 12th for just $10. WeWantPicks.com, click become a member at the top.
How's my beard looking?
It looks better than that thing you had going on a couple weeks ago. Whatever the hell that
about?
was. A few weeks ago, you had the Asian, just the mustache and this piece.
You're damn right I did. I can sport a few. I can sport a...
Isn't that called a Fu Manchu?
Say that again?
What's a Fu Manchu? Isn't that a Fu Manchu?
Fu Manchu?
That's what it's called. No, I'm not wrong. That's what it's called.
Fu Manchu.
No, I'm not wrong. Fu Man. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's exactly. Oh no, Fu Manchu is this, just this. You had this and
Fu
this.
Manchu.
No, it's not. It's shoe.
Chew.
SHOE.
It's chew.
Best. Oh, Manchu is one word. MANCHU. Oh well. Whatever.
Culture. You got 5 minutes ago. You're like, I'm so cultured. I lived in New York City, bro.
I knew what it was. That's a speech
never went
impediment.
to Chinatown.
Can't make fun of speech impediments. Next up at UFC 309, we have a new fight on the card. It's not that new, but it's a week new. We got Marcin Tybura taking on Jhonata Diniz. Marcin Tybura, 25-9 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that submission loss to Sergey Spivak. Taking on the undefeated Jhonata Diniz, 8-0 in his career with 7 stoppages. Marcin Tybura has been around a while. He's starting to age out of this division, but he is a durable grinder. He never quits. He's pretty busy. His striking is just okay, more of just a lot of pitter-patter to try to close the distance and try to get fights to the ground. He does get fights to the ground. It's not really clean doubles or singles. He'll get you to the cage, grab a hold of you, trip, drag, pull you down. He has a low 33% accuracy, but he does get the fights where he needs them. Instead of clean doubles, I mentioned he's relying on body locks and trips. He's coming off that first-round submission loss to Sergey Spivak. He's taking on Jhonata Diniz. Jhonata was supposed to fight Derek Lewis in Canada at UFC Edmonton, and that fell apart because Derek Lewis pulled out. They never really explained what happened. Is that what it was? I was saying we never heard what happened or why. We just
I didn't say anything.
Diarrhea of the mouth. Style-wise, Jhonata Diniz is a very good striker. He's a Muay Thai striker, clean technique, incredible power. He throws in combinations. He's got good, clean defense. For his size, the speed is there as well. Professional kickboxing experience before transitioning to MMA. His takedown defense is solid. It's relatively untested, and when we did see it tested, it wasn't great. He is 8-0. He's got 7 stoppages, but he is coming off that first ever decision, and it was over Carl Williams, where he was landing big early, had Carl rocked. Carl was refusing to wrestle, but when he did, he had takedowns. And that is why I'm going to pick Marcin here, because when Carl Williams got Jhonata to the ground, it was very obvious Jhonata had no clue what to do. I mean, his legs were flat. He was useless on the ground. So obviously Marcin is going to have to get through the Muay Thai, going to have to absorb a couple of shots. Hopefully he doesn't get Tom Aspinalled, and he gets it to the ground, because if he can get it to the ground, he will win this fight unquestionably. His haircut is insane. His game plan is not. I think Marcin Tybura can get it done. I did bet on him at plus 100. He is now minus 140, which gives me a little buyer's remorse. If this line continues to widen, I may do a little bit of arbitrage there on the Jhonata side, because Marcin can be knocked out. We watched Tom Aspinall do it, and Jhonata hits hard as hell. So if this line gets crazy, I might arbitrage it. But for now, I got a plus 100 on Marcin. I think he can get it to the ground, and I think he can just sort of take advantage of the inexperience on the Jhonata side. What do you think, Jakey Boomba Lots?
I already know the answer to this, but do you want to bet on this one?
I already bet. I'm not going to bet twice.
I just wish there was some way, and I don't know what that would be. I don't know if it's surgery. I don't know if it's medication, something to try to grow those balls back, Angelo, because the soy softness that you've become. You know, I thought the move to Texas, I mean, and we all, as a family, we worked together. We thought, let's get this guy to Texas.
Yeah.
Let's get him to Texas. Let's get a shotgun in his hands, and let's get this guy. Let's get those testosterone numbers up a little bit. And what's happened? Hands got soft, blisters all the time, bussy leaking, day in, day out. You got soft, and I'm trying to bring you back.
There's no leakage, FYI. And it is funny because at the gym I train, there's a couple people in phenomenal shape that do. They're like, hey, you can get TRT, insurance pays for it. I've considered.
You already lost the hair anyway, so.
I didn't lose the hair.
Sure, pal.
Yeah.
Sure, pal.
That was just bad lighting, by the way.
Is it my turn to break this down?
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, I actually, if you guys know, and you guys listen to my breakdown with Derek Lewis and Diniz, I said I'm a Diniz hater. I think he's overrated. I think he's got overrated power. We know the negligence that he has in the wrestling, in the grappling, especially if you do get him to the ground. I would say this. If Marcin Tybura was the wrestler and grappler that people act like he is this week, he should be fucking minus 350, in my opinion. Why is he not? Because he's not really a wrestler. He can wrestle, right? But his entries aren't like even Carl Williams is like a legit wrestler. And, he actually has like good entries and stuff. Marcin Tybura is like sloppy, just try to run at you, grab your body, then drop to a single or something like that. And when you watch that Tai Tuivasa fight, in those crash situations, he was fucking getting lit up. I mean, Ty split him up with an elbow. The good news here, and what I like about that, when you try to translate that fight to this fight, is Tai Tuivasa is definitely very sloppy, right? He can't be technical, but once he starts brawling, we all know Tai Tuivasa is going to brawl. So when Tybura is blitzing him, Tai Tuivasa starts brawling, boom, level change, gets him to the ground. We saw what happened. Jhonata Diniz is not really that brawling type of style. He's a very technical guy. So Marcin Tybura is trying to close those distances in that slappy fashion with that baby chin. I think Jhonata Diniz is going to be sitting there with the shot ready for him. He's not like an all-in wrestler. He's got takedowns, but the shots are sloppy. And when you have sloppy shots with a baby chin against a precise striker, 1 + 1 equals knockout.
Dweeb.
By the way, too, this you can get Jhonata Diniz. Let me see if it's still there. Money line for +120, and his KO is +110. So they're saying it's more likely that he wins by KO than he actually wins the fight, which obviously doesn't make any sense at all.
That is fun. No, yeah, that is funny. Listen, I might arbitrage it. I got Marcin at plus money, so I can go the other side. And so if Marcin wins, I would basically get my money back, full refund. And if Jhonata wins, I would make money because that would be the better odds. But we'll see what it looks like later in the week. I just trust the wrestling. I agree with the sentiment, though. Like, I have a little bit of buyer's remorse. I have more.
Me too.
You and I were texting the other day. I have a little more buyer's remorse on the Tybura bet, even though I completely beat the odds here.
Minus 145 now, plus 125 on Diniz.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes when that happens, it's like, it's too obvious. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's so funny. It's still Jhonata and Diniz. They haven't moved that line. So that might be why the odds are moving more than what you probably would think. Jhonata Diniz by KO is plus 110. It's like they don't want any action on that line because his money line is plus 125. So you just play the money line.
Yeah, because you'll get paid. Yeah, sure. I have a little buyer's remorse on it because I have the same concerns, right? He's can be knocked out. We have seen it. He's also tough as shit and not a quitter. You watch the Alexander Romanov fight, but he wasn't hit in the face. He was just thrown around. Should be an interesting fight. It's a fun fight. I'm glad they added this to the card. I am looking forward to it. If you do want to check out all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, the artificial intelligence, the tools, the tape index, everything you could ever want or need heading into a fight week, you can get all the way out to UFC 310 for just $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top.
I'm also playing a Brazilian parlay, not for premium or anything, just for fun. But $200 plays 1,700.
How many Brazilians are on this card?
Well, there's a couple that fight each other, unfortunately. But for Moura, Diniz, Carini, Charles, and
that's it.
No.
Bassil.
No.
Martinez. Ruffy.
Yeah, Ruffy. That's what it was. Ruffy didn't move it much, but 200 pays out 1,700. I think we agree. Diniz is live and Moura is live.
I agree.
Moura fight at the very least is going to be very competitive. I don't see Veronica smoking her in any capacity.
No, I agree. Next up. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. $10 super chat from Nate B. Been a long-time fan, but haven't contributed much, to be honest. Y'all are running a solid business. Keep going. Well, we appreciate you, Nate. None of this exists.
Vamos.
If it's not for the fans. So to have 600 people live on a Tuesday night watching us break these fights down is absolutely incredible.
Angelo, do you have a favorite football team?
I mean, kind of, but I don't really care.
Go.
I'm supposed to.
Go.
I'm at this as far. Oh, you idiot! Did you knock down your ring light? You dumb dick. You stupid asshole. All right. Well, he tries to put his mom's apartment back together before she flips out on him. Let's break down the next fight. Next up at UFC 309, we got Jimmy Miller taking on Damon Jackson. This is another fight with an incredible amount of line movement. We got Jim Miller, 37 and 18 in his career. 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the bad loss to Bobby Green. He's taking on Damon Jackson, 23-7 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off that back and forth loss to Chepe Mariscal. Jim Miller's an absolute legend, especially in that neck of the woods. He's Jersey tough. He has a whole bunch of actual records in the UFC that include longevity, octagon minutes, all-time wins, all that stuff. He is the only fighter ever, and will be the only fighter ever, to complete on 3 different 100 milestone cards. He was on UFC 100, UFC 200, and UFC 300. He's a good grappler. He's got clean boxing, okay wrestling. He has all that veteran savvy. He's got toughness. He's got grit, everything you would expect from a fighter like him. He's definitely starting to show his age. He continues to defy the odds, but he did just get absolutely dog-walked by Bobby Green at UFC 300. He's taking on Damon Jackson. It is important to note that Damon Jackson is moving up in weight. He's a 145-pounder that got some new hair in the head, looking spectacular, has moved up to 155 pounds. And I don't know if that was because he didn't have the success he was looking for, if he felt like he was sucked out, he could have more success if he wasn't cutting all that weight. I'm not sure. But he is at 155 pounds now. And he is a very good grappler in his own right. He'll snatch things up in scrambles. He's willing to slug it out on his feet. And he uses those strikes to set up his takedowns. He doesn't have a lot of power in the striking, but he does land some heavy shots, immediately look to wrestle. He has a low takedown accuracy, but his nickname would imply he's got phenomenal control. He is the leech. And
that
when he
is not his name. How many times do we
I
have to go over
understand he
this?
changed it. I'm not going to
Out
the
of
new nickname.
respect for his fallen brother, he changed his nickname because that was his brother's nickname. So show him some fucking respect.
Oh, that's why he changed it?
Yeah, it was his brother's nickname was Action.
Oh, I didn't know that's why he changed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Asshole.
well then,
Yeah,
bad
you feel
on
now.
me.
Sorry, Damon.
I mean, I'll get over it. But, well, the reason the Leech nickname was so perfect is that's how he fights. He gets you to the ground. You can't shake him. And I think he wins this fight doing exactly that. I think he can get Jim Miller to the ground. Jim Miller's a black belt. Yeah, Jim Miller's a black belt. I don't think he's a modern era black belt. I did this whole rant in the Quick Pick video. There is a difference between some of these OG black belts and the new ones. There's a humongous difference. Getting a black belt back in the day is a huge accomplishment, a massive feat. He was one of the first black belts like in that area. But it is a different black belt. This sport evolves just like all other sports. You take some of the greatest athletes.
Some of the people are jiu-jitsu black belts, and now the new age is basically like MMA black belts. Like, it's fucking different.
Yeah. And I think Jim Miller, while he's got very good jiu-jitsu, and he is technically a black belt, I don't see him out-grappling Damon Jackson. I think Damon Jackson will have all the success. I think he wins this fight. I have a bet on him as well. I think my bet on him was at -110. I also smoked this line. I do not have buyer's remorse on this one. He's now -170. I still think he wins this fight. And I don't really see a ton of danger. Obviously, Jim Miller has a couple of random knockouts at his advanced age. I don't see that happening here, though. Damon Jackson is the pick. What do you think, Jakey Boomba-Lots?
High and tight. High and tight. You think if I held a football like this, just nice and tight like this, you could get it from my hands?
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Is that a full-size football?
You fucking sauerkraut son of a bitch. He has a full-size fucking football. I got fucking massive hands, dog. I fucking rip that shit. I put out a competition to any capper. I'll fucking out-throw any fucking capper. Next vlog, if I come over Saturday, watch me fucking launch this son of a bitch. 70, 80, maybe even 90 yards.
We can go to the field. We can go to the field and see who can throw it farther.
See who can not fucking. Do you honestly think you can out throw it farther than me? Be honest.
A baseball, yes. A football, probably not.
You can't throw anything. I don't give a fuck.
I'll fucking launch a baseball way farther. Not even close. Not even close.
Hold on. Step back and show your throwing motion real quick. Pretend to throw a ball. Scoot the chair back and pretend to throw a ball.
Yeah, right. Nice try. Nice
again?
try. That was called follow through.
And then,
Why don't you break down this fight?
I'm like this, man. Anybody that sees this arm action like this, they know that you're fucking toast, dog.
I also
Any
just threw
amount
a
of money.
baseball. I didn't throw
Any amount of money you think you can out throw me on a fucking
Why don't we
baseball.
break down this fight?
Damon Jackson wins. I just don't love Jim Miller at this point in his career. Obviously, he Damon Jackson's not going to do what Bobby Green did, right? He's not going to pump the jab out there. He's not going to beat the fuck out of Jim Miller in that type of capacity. But I had Jim Miller as, what was he, my first lock of the week of this year? One of the early lock of the weeks against Mowgli. Felt good about it. He was a big public dog. But even in that fight that I thought he was going to fucking dominate, I was like, come on, Jim. Like, I mean, it was a competitive fight. He had been mowing through some people that weren't probably on his level, and he was doing what he was supposed to do. Then he fights somebody that was a little bit ahead of him, and he saw that, okay, maybe he's not, the resurrection of his career and about to go for a title run, Jim Miller. And I think Damon Jackson is just that guy where, obviously he's not going to have the fast striking as Bobby Green, but I do think he's better at this point in Jim Miller's career. I think he can do enough in the striking to get to the wrestling, get to the grappling. And there's one thing for Damon Jackson is he doesn't ever fucking quit. He doesn't ever fucking quit. And one thing, you just do a line?
No, somebody did a super chat, and I was trying to see what the profile picture was before I pinned it.
You just did a line.
Yeah, I did a line. Angie Coke.
Yeah.
Bang. Let's go.
Let's see. Everyone pay attention. Alert me when he itches his nose. Somebody alert me when he itches his nose.
So now that you said that, I'm gonna have the itchiest nose in the world.
Somebody alert me because that thing's dripping. He's got that drip. But yeah, and I think at 155, what was happening at 145? I mean, you could see that looked like some pretty rough cuts. I mean, he was pretty rough on the scale, and he would slow down in the late seconds into the third rounds. I think at 155 we might see the best Damon Jackson yet, and an opponent that I think he could have advantages over in a lot of areas. So.
Cool transition.
Someone said Big Ange locked in, baby. Why you shake your leg?
What? Oh, dude, I see ya.
Yeah.
So fucking
you went like this too. I was doing
because I literally am always like twitching, shaking. I never sit still. It's so stupid. Is this the new narrative? We got over the AIDS and now it's this.
Oh, you still have AIDS.
I'm trying to burn it out of me. Anyway, we're both on the Damon Jackson side. $8,600 is probably a decent price point because if Damon Jackson wins, it will be with the grappling, with the control, with the takedowns. And I think Damon Jackson could have some success here. So he's going to be the pick. I may explore some lineups with him, but ultimately my final single entry cash game lineup, I'm going to have a couple of those 7,000 something dogs and then a couple of very expensive fighters because this card has some crazy pricing. If you want to check out all the picks, all the bets, the round line leans, everything that we do, it's $10 a month. That includes an artificial intelligence. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top.
Jacob gives me creepy vibes.
He is a creep. $1.99 from Park Stew. George chokes on Froyo. I don't know what that means. Is that George Costanza when he was eating ice cream at the baseball game? This is after you accuse me of doing illegal drugs. Bro moves his mouth enough. You know what's funny about that? The reason I pinned this, I have Tourette's, actual Tourette's. But instead of cursing and doing ridiculous shit, I go like that. I straight up.
I know.
Okay.
That's why it's funny.
I do that. I stretch my mouth. I don't like curse. I don't have outbursts, but
fuck, pissed up.
Yeah, none of that. I just can't. I'll just do that with my mouth, stretch it out. Not in like a weird way. Bunch of nerds. Yeah, you're about to jump on that. Next up. At UFC 309, we got Chris Weidman. He's not a New Yorker anymore. South Carolina, Chris Weidman taking on Eryk Anders. Chris Weidman, 16-7 in his career. 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off that double eye poke knockout win. He's taking on Eryk Anders. 16-8 in his career. 2-3 in his last 5 as well. Coming off a decision win over Jamie Pickett. Chris Weidman is not what he used to be, but he's still very good. He's the former middleweight champion of the world. He was the first champion ever out of the Serra Longo fight gym. Obviously not including Matt Serra. I'm talking about the actual fighters that they built. He's a great wrestler. He wrestled in college. He's got solid striking. He's had a great career. He's an all-time great personality. Watch any of he won't be on this one, but watch any of the pay-per-view weigh-in shows. The guy's spectacular. Arguably one of the better middleweights we've ever seen. He is 40. He is slowing down. He's coming off that infamous double eye poke win over Bruno Silva. And the UFC said, we want the hometown kid to win. But it's interesting when you're matching up somebody like Weidman because he is a former world champion. So you have to give him, and he's got a name, so you have to give him somebody that has a little bit of notoriety. You can't give him an absolute nobody because they like him. And they said, let's give him Eryk Anders. Eryk Anders has some notoriety. He's a fun guy to watch, but he's somebody that Chris might be able to beat. Eryk Anders does spell his name like an absolute lunatic. Oh, Mr. Football pegged himself in the nuts. Eryk Anders does spell his name like a lunatic, but he's good. He's wildly athletic. He can wrestle. He can strike. He's competed in... What an absolute... Yeah, I know you have a tiny dick, too. That ball didn't make it past your belly button. It's not like you hit yourself with the knee. Fucking pencil dick. Eryk Anders can mix in punches and kicks really well together. Okay speed. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he throws some heat. He has gotten himself into trouble in the past because he keeps his hands pretty low, but his path to victory in most fights is to come forward, wrestle, be athletic, be big, be strong, and beat people up. He's rarely the most technical fighter, almost always the tougher, more athletic fighter. He is coming off of the win over Jamie Pickett where he looked strong, but he was dropped. And getting dropped by Jamie Pickett, not the best look. And I think that's why this is the matchup. I think the UFC is like, here's two guys that'll put on a show. Weidman's getting a little older, but he's somebody we want to take care of, and that's why they did this. And the Chris Weidman that fought Brad Tavares, his first fight back after his leg snapping in half, was a very different Chris Weidman than the one we saw in the Bruno Silva fight. The Bruno Silva fight, yeah, there was a bunch of eye pokes, but he physically looked good. He didn't seem insanely slow. He didn't seem out of sorts. And I think that version of Chris, and now the next version of Chris, can win this fight. I'm picking Chris to win. I am expecting this to be wildly sloppy, but it should be fun. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I think there was a quote from Weidman today. He said something about bringing in something fucking crazy, or I'm gonna put on the performance, or I'm gonna fucking. It was like a not like a typical. It was something where I was like, oh well, this guy seems pretty confident. I mean, fucking.
I watched him mow his lawn. It was great. It was like an Angelo vlog. Just mowed his lawn. They videotaped the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's he was so proud about the big gas-powered backpack blower. And then he had a battery-powered
mower. Yeah,
like,
battery-powered mower.
It's like, come on, man, you got to fire. That's a whole point. Yeah. Fire that thing up, man. You ever have issues? You didn't fucking mow grass when you were through my fucking kidding. There's no way you ever mowed a single yard in your entire.
What are you out of your mind? Of course,
sitting there as a little kid, struggling.
Dude, Hunter, I grew up in fucking Connecticut. I didn't mow a lawn. What are you out of your mind? I also had to rake the leaves, do the mulch twice a year. I did all that shit. Why don't you tell us who you think wins?
You went out there and helped the landscapers that your parents had running the mill there around the house.
We didn't have landscapers. My dad
maid fold the laundry too, Angelo.
My dad grew up in Bed-Stuy,
You helped the
New
shelf.
York.
You had the chef cook the food, Angelo.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and tell us who wins this fight?
Angelo grew up in a penthouse apartment in New York City. Never saw a blade of grass until he was fucking 23 years old.
Okay.
I'm out there grinding for the people.
Blue collar. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that Weidman is the underdog here because I think he has the advantage in this fight. What is that advantage? Eryk Anders, what he wants to do at his core is kind of hang on you, push you against the fence, try to get takedowns, and he really wants to play that game. Former national champion football player at the University of Alabama. So this guy is a fucking athlete. He is an ox. He is strong as shit. But that's also kind of what Chris Weidman wants to do at this point in his career. Now, he showed off a little bit more boxing against Bruno Silva, and he thought he had some success in there and all that type of stuff. But against Eryk Anders, I feel like it's going to be a grindy, on-the-fence type fight. And I got to take Chris Weidman 10 out of 10 times. If these two guys are trying to wrestle each other, I got to imagine that Chris Weidman is going to win the wrestling match. So I think that's what it comes down to. In my opinion, I know that Weidman's been chinned. I know that Eryk Anders got chinned a little bit by Jamie Pickett in his last fight as well. I don't think that together they are those type of strikers. In my opinion, this fight has kind of split decision all over it. A close, weird, cage control type fight. And if it goes to the judges, I don't see, we talk about destination judges all the time. I bet the Canada card banking on Canadian judges, right? I picked Ceedy. I thought that was going to be a close fight, but I was like, if it goes to a decision, I think they're going to give it to him. Same type of situation here. The hometown kid, Chris Weidman, the crowd's be going crazy. It's a shame that it happens, but we've seen scorecards happen like that before. If it goes to a decision, I trust that they give it to Weidman, even though he's got some bad karma coming his way. But
he does have some karma. He does have some karma.
By the way, we didn't even mention this to the top, but we should have mentioned it, but it's good to bring up here, is the UFC. If you guys have not heard yet, the UFC, I don't know if it's a commission thing, the New York Commission, but they're going back to the old gloves for this card. They didn't give a reasoning for it. They didn't say if it's going to be from here on, but for this card, they are bringing back the old gloves. So we'll see if that improves the knockouts or what their plan is for that. So
yeah, and again, it could have something to do with the commission too. Like nobody knows why they just said that, because New York commission's not as, they don't do as many fights as other commissions, and they're sticklers. They try to do things their own way. So they could be like, well, these are not approved equipment, but it could be something as dumb as that.
And somebody said too, and I think there's a rumor that like John Jones was basically like, no, I want to use the old gloves. So like,
dude,
right, now everyone's got to use the old gloves.
He's gotten them to move entire fight cards, so anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very likely outcome. If he's like, yeah, I kind of enjoy the old gloves, and they're like, well, fucking everybody's using the old gloves.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable. Listen, $7,700 for Chris Weidman. While I do think he can win this fight, I'm not going to put him in my lineup. $7,700, I agree with Jacob. We're on the same page here. We both picked Weidman, but this could be just a sloppy mess of a fight. Really fun for us as fans. This is not a fight that you can count on in a DraftKings fantasy lineup. I do believe Jakey Boy has some action here, so if you want to check out that bet and the rest of our bets, both his and mine, we've been killing it lately. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 for an entire month. You could access all the picks, the tools, the round line leans, the artificial intelligence, every single thing that we do. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Bunch of super chats. I'm going to run through them. One of these is massive. $8.99 New Zealand from BetSam. We Want Picks, become a member today. Well, thank you, BetSam, using our audience to build his own, but whatever, we'll take it. We appreciate you. He has been killing it.
Congrats on all the success, Sam.
That
sounded sarcastic.
No, it wasn't sarcastic. No, he's a We Want Picks guy. Calls into the show, does all the things. We have 5,000 knocks from Philip Lundstrom. I looked it up. I did the knock to US dollar conversion. That's $450. So Philip Lundstrom, thank you for the wildly generous $450.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's for Jacob. Yeah.
So let me fill up. Who? Wait, I can't read that. What it says? What's his name?
Philip Lundstrom.
Yeah, I'll fill you up, bitch. Got him, Philip. We got him, baby. Nice job, Philip. $450 for the joke of the day. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. My grandmother was very proud Norwegian, so I have Norwegian blood in me. It's hard to be humble when you're Norwegian. She had a pin like that, and she had Norway flags everywhere. So we appreciate that, and Lock of the Week video out tomorrow, so we'll find out. Sorry, I can't answer the question, but I'm not spoiling it.
We appreciate that wildly generous Boomer.
Add a couple zeros.
Boomer Esiason, a very well-known Norwegian, as is Anna and Elsa, also Norwegians. H. Hoy, $349. That's how I'm going to be talking for the next fight card we break down. H. Hoy, $349. Y'all think Stipe can survive all 5 rounds or KO round 2? I don't think it gets out of the first round. We'll break that down a little bit. Thank you for the super chat. $4.99 from Bogdan Svitin. Quit my job, gambling full time. We Want Picks has the best value in the fight game. What is fun?
It's so.
Woo!
Be careful there. Right.
Thank you for the super chat.
Good luck, Bogdan.
We appreciate you. Sal Cuchilla. Long shot slip thoughts, boys. Elliott, McGhee, Weidman. Who the fuck's Weidman? Plus 3.5.
Stupid idiot. No context clues there?
I'm
joking. Yeah,
Chris Weidman's on the screen.
No,
dummy.
I bet. Yeah.
Silva Oliveira. Listen,
another line.
I don't agree with all of these picks, so
just
it's a decent long shot.
It's a fucking long shot.
Yeah.
I pray to God you're already a premium member. You already blew $5 there.
Well, and on this super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Very generous. Again, Philip Baby with the $500. Thank you all very much. Next up, at UFC 309, we have the featured prelim fight. We have Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcus McGhee. Jonathan Martinez, 19-5 in his career. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that loss to Jose Aldo. Taking on Marcus McGhee, 9-1 in his career. 5-0 in his last 5. All 9 of his wins are by stoppage. Jonathan Martinez is a very well-rounded guy. He's got good technical striking, slick BJJ. He has that Muay Thai striking style, really nice kicks that he's won more than fight using alone. He uses those kicks to gauge range and to try to take away some of your tools. He does not go to his wrestling often, but when he does, he's got some slick submissions that he will snatch up in scrambles. He's coming off that loss, as I mentioned, to Jose Aldo, where it actually looked like Jonathan was almost starstruck, a little caught up in the moment, fighting the King of Rio in Rio. He's taking on Marcus McGhee. This is a powerful guy with heavy hands, good takedowns, and one-punch knockouts all over his career. His takedown defense is solid. He's got slick submissions on his side as well, and he will use those in scrambles. He sets a pace. He carries his power late in the fights, and he is coming off that KO win over Gaston Bolanos, where he was a little hittable, but we saw the wrestling. We saw the power. Listen, Jonathan Martinez is a very good fighter, but I love Marcus McGhee. He's a guy that I've been backing for a while here. I'm going to back him again. I think he gets it done. I ended up pulling the trigger, placing a bet on him after I went back and forth. And honestly, the differentiator there was I thought this could be a close fight. Jonathan Martinez is very good. He's very skilled. He's got a good gas tank, great leg kicks. And I was like, Jonathan could piece up Marcus and take the legs away, and that could remove the power. And then we found out Jonathan left his gym. He's basically coaching himself. And to do
He's
that,
downtown TJ Brown, man. Downtown's a good guy, man. He does some bitch.
To do that at this point in his career, fighting a guy like Marcus McGhee, it's a little tricky. Marcus is very good, very dangerous. I think Marcus gets it done. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I do believe that this could be a buy low spot for Jonathan Martinez. Despite him leaving Factory X and doing his own thing, and good for him for, it sounds like he started his own gym and he's doing that. He's the owner, head coach of his gym. He's got assistants coach underneath him. Hopefully he's making some money with that. Despite that move, he's still a good fighter. It's not like you leave a gym, right, and you just forget how to fight, right? This guy's a very, very high level striker. Definitely the best striker that Marcus McGhee has fought up to this point. And yeah, Jonathan Martinez went to Brazil and lost a boxing match to Jose Aldo. It's like people are acting like the guy is just fucking shit because of that performance, which kind of blew my mind, honestly. And I thought that he might even be a slight favorite based on his body of work and the lack of real competition that Marcus McGhee has really fought up to this point. Now, I understand Marcus McGhee is a very well-rounded guy. He's a good striker, has wrestling, has submissions. He can do a whole bunch of stuff. Say it out loud.
Angelo's dressed like he's about to appear in a Stolen Valor video.
But I think Jonathan Martinez is going to be, a little bit more live than people realize. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are very high on Marcus McGhee. I'm one of them. I don't dislike Marcus McGhee. I'm going to pick him in this fight, but it's one of those Angelo-type picks, right, where I'm picking Marcus McGhee, but I'm looking at the Jonathan Martinez side. I'm like, man, if the odds get wide, I might throw something on something because he's a guy that knows how to stay safe, knows how to keep range, and if Marcus McGhee just tries that march forward style, boxing style, Jonathan Martinez have chewed up those type of fighters in the past. So I think this could be definitely a closer fight than people realize, probably a decision fight. And I'm going Marcus McGhee because I think he probably is a little bit more well-rounded everywhere. But Jonathan Martinez has showed he's got takedown defense, he's got takedowns of his own, is good at keeping range. And, Jose Aldo is a fucking unbelievably fast counter striker. So I think he saw the speed and was a little bit hesitant. Marcus McGhee doesn't have that type of speed. So it could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. This is a very good fight. I'm glad this is the featured prelim. It was originally the Weidman fight, and then they flopped him, which I'm glad they did because this is a meaningful fight for this division. We're going to find out how good Marcus McGhee actually is or how good Jonathan Martinez is. Was he just caught up in the lights or did, he's starting to get the upper echelon fighters? He's not going to be able to pass those tests. I don't know. And I'm looking forward to it. We both picked Marcus McGhee. I actually pulled the trigger, bet a little bit on him just because, the moving of the fight camp. And yes, of course, you need to set yourself up for success because this sport is very unforgiving. All of a sudden,
it could be just a difference in, maybe he wanted to be a little bit more unleashed. Maybe they were holding him back and saying, you don't know the ins and outs.
I don't know shit.
So
he could.
He could show up and now he's doing his own thing. He's more confident. He comes in here. And
Brandon Royval looked fantastic on his own. Yeah. No, 100%. It's less about the high level training and the training partners, which that does matter.
It does matter because he was training with Yusuf Zalal,
high level guys,
Chris Gutierrez, and Isaac Dolgarian, and now he's with downtown TJ Brown.
No, to me it's less about that and more about these are giant life changes. And anytime you have giant life changes and then
Texas.
A life change,
So
agree. Yes, but these are still giant things. These changing in his life.
Could be the best thing ever in his life.
100%, and every fighter should do something like that because
moving to Texas was the best decision you ever made, wasn't it?
Literally, but the
Chile.
This is an unforgiving
worst decision. I've had nothing but heartbreak here.
Heartbreak and cancer. you got cancer in Texas, the Texas sun,
and a neck tattoo.
There you go. Yeah, that'll help keep the skin cancer away. Inject it with ink. Anyway, where I was going with this is it might be the best thing that's ever happened to him because it's a very unforgiving sport. Look at Mateusz Nicolau, one of the best guys on the planet, big losing skid, gone. And he doesn't own a gym. And without owning a gym, without controlling your own income, what's he got? Fight in other promotions until there's no money left? Dude, Bigfoot Silva's 49 still fighting because he never opened a gym. He never established his own revenue streams. So it's a very good for Jonathan Martinez for opening his own gym and taking control of his own life. And hopefully it works out because this is not a sport that you can retire with just yet. We're probably a full generation away.
Not unless you're a champion or close to it, for sure.
Yeah, or there's a union, which I don't think that'll ever happen, unfortunately. I'm an anti-union guy, but these guys need a union. You know what's funny?
What a stance there, huh?
What's so funny
sorry, my hardworking union brothers.
No. What's so funny is my stepfather's a union fireman, and that's how him and my mom have the life they have. Is because the problem with the union is the math doesn't work. He worked 25 years, and he's going to collect for 50 years. The math doesn't work. That's the problem with the union. But they take care of their people. So if you're in the union, best thing in the world. If you have to fund the union, math doesn't work. The fighters need a union. And you need $50 in your wallet, and I will send it to you. Just go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. You have to use the link. You sign up, you make a deposit, we send you $50 as a thank you. It's literally that simple. If you signed up using the link and didn't fill out the form, you got to fill out the form. How else are we supposed to know who you are if you use the link? WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. We'll send you $50 as a thank you. Here's a look at the last 5 cards. Bless you. We're asking you to sign up and become a premium member. That's only $10. And here's just a look at our recent success. This is 5 cards, but 5 cards spanned over a couple of months because there were some breaks in the mix. 16.22 units of net profit over the last 5 cards. If you watched those breakdowns and you heard the premium pitch and you didn't sign up, look at what you missed out on. WeWantPicks.com, click become a member. You will get the copy-paste bets. You will get tools like the data analyzer. This has a tape study, stackable filters, all sorts of things you could ever want or need, including future events. And if you want to send something for the vlog, it's We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. Wait, hold on. Did we have another? We had $1.99 from David Rios. He says, y'all seen Cejudo press Mario? No. Did you? Do you know what he's talking about? Mario who? Batista? Andretti? Lopez? I don't know what that is. Thank you for the super chat. I'll have to Google that when we're done here.
Can you say it's a me, Mario, in Mario's voice, if you don't mind?
It's a me, Mario. It's a me, Mario.
It's me, Mario. Woohoo!
I'm gonna win.
That was a little bit racist there.
I can do it. It's my people.
Ooh, wow. Mr. Cultured Italian. Whoa, sorry. Sorry, I'm
Correct.
fluent in Portuguese.
No, you're not.
And Spanish. Okay.
You got the good red passport. You can make Italian jokes. Simple. Simple.
Ooh.
Correct.
Ooh.
Next up, at UFC 309, we have the main card opener. We have Mauricio Ruffy taking on James Llontop. Mauricio Ruffy 10-1 in his career. 5-0 in his last 5. He has 10 stoppage wins. He's taking on James Llontop. 14-4 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is on an unfortunate 2-fight skid. Mauricio Ruffy is nasty. He's got huge fight-ending power. He has 10 wins. All 10 of them are by stoppage. He'll throw heavy 1-2s. He'll look for power. But he's not just a boxer. The hands are clean, but he'll launch kicks right up the middle. He'll defend takedowns really, really well. We've seen him carry the power late into fights as far as the 3rd round. And that's nice to see because we got a glimpse of the cardio. We got to see, yes, his cardio is not spectacular, but he doesn't death gas, and he still has that power. He's coming off that win over Jamie Malarkey, where the timing and the speed were incredible, and he was so confident in what he was doing. He even attempted a scissor sweep takedown like a Karate Kid movie. He's taking on James Llontop. This is a well-rounded guy, solid striking, good combinations, good body work. He doesn't really look for offensive takedowns, but if he's the one who is taken down, he's got decent grappling, good enough get-up game. He's got power in his hands, plenty of cardio, so you don't have to worry that he's going to be KO or bust. And overall, he's a dangerous guy, but he can keep fights standing to avoid danger on the ground. He's not very technical. Plenty of pressure, though. He's coming off that loss to Vyacheslav Borshev, which was pretty close. This is sort of a feed him to the Wolves matchup, though. Mauricio Ruffy is freaking nasty. James Llontop is tough, and this fight might go longer than most people are expecting it to, but Mauricio Ruffy is freaking good, dude. He's got that Conor McGregor stance. He is lightning fast, and I think he gets it done. I think James is going to be a punching bag. He's tough, so he's going to be a punching bag, I think, for more than 1.5 rounds. But he's likely going to be a punching bag here. Mauricio Ruffy's the pick. That gym is doing all the things right now, and this is going to be more of the same. What do you think? Jakey Boombalats.
Fighting nerds. Yeah, if you're James Llontop in this fight, you cannot stay at range. You cannot stay at range because this dude Ruffy is fucking fast. You have to get in this dude's chest. You have to hope that he extends combinations, and you're good enough to take a shot to be able to give a shot. And Ruffy has been chinned in the past. He's been sat down. He's been knocked out. You have to get in this guy's chest, force him to throw an extended combination, and hope you can land a shot inside of one of those combinations. Because if you stand at range, this guy is just going to be way, way too fast for you. So I think there is an opportunity for James to get in here and try to get in this guy's chest and dirty box him early. But with that big cage and Ruffy and his footwork, it's going to be really hard, like early, and he could get sniped while he's doing it. James Llontop's a tough kid. Has been shown to eat some shots, but I don't know if he's eating Ruffy-type shots because those are coming hard, long, fast. They got some hair on them.
Yeah. What's interesting is it is the speed. Obviously, power matters very much, but there's plenty of guys that don't have raw one-punch knockout power, but do have the speed. And that catches you, and you're not ready, and your mouth is open, you didn't see it coming, that'll do just as much, if not more damage than a close fist punch. In our fight,
with my speed, you were struggling with the speed.
I couldn't keep up. We'll have to run it back with some fancy new Hayabusa gear. If you guys don't know, we're going to be working with Hayabusa. They make incredibly high-end training equipment, and maybe we'll get some gloves, and I'll beat Jacob's face in, and then we'll talk about the gloves after and see if my hands hurt or not.
This is what we call a warm knife through melting butter. The way I snatched up that single was absolutely incredible. That even went.
Did you get it? Did you get to take? What happened right after this? You went flying through the air.
This is a guy that weighs over 200 pounds more than me. Is a trained wrestler. Is a trained mixed martial artist, wrestling his entire life. I come in, haven't slept all week, COVID, undersized, never shot a takedown in my life. And I went through fucking butter getting that fucking single. I would be, if I was you watching this, I'd be fucking throwing up. That's so embarrassing. The fact that I was able to snatch that up, it's crazy.
We need to run it back. We need to do it live. 100%.
It's crazy. 100%. That's not embarrassing to you?
No, because the rest of that clip is you flying through the air.
And
that's the rest of the clip.
Dude, the panic that you went through right after this. You tried to throw me, didn't get the throw, and then finally had to use your fucking 200-pound weight advantage to throw me across the. You switched real quick from wrestling to judo. I do know that very, very quickly. And Angelo didn't shoot one fucking takedown on me. Wonder why?
Because I launched your ass after you shot a takedown.
Dude was scared out of his mind. Wrestling his entire life, 200-pound weight advantage.
The best part about this,
fucking takedown.
The best part about this is we can just run it back and we can do it live. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
We don't need your tricky editing. We will stream it live. I'll talk to Marco at the gym. We'll stream it live.
I think
I gotta find somebody who knows.
We gotta level up. We're not doing.
I gotta find. Gym. We need a producer. Actually, I should beat the shit out of you with Charles Johnson's thing. Beat the shit out of you with. This is where I'll bet you.
I need multiple commas.
This is where we can bet. You want to bet thousands? I'll bet whatever you want on whatever prop you want. Fighting your dumbass. WeWantPicks.com. Quick becoming members. $10 for an entire month. $9,600 for Mauricio Ruffy. It is juiced. He should win. He should dominate. James is durable. That's the only thing that gives me a little hesitation here because 9,600 is a lot of money. He is going to need to finish James in the first round to be worth that money.
You know what's
if this goes to the second or third, he won't be.
About James was it almost took him like a round and a half to almost seemed like to warm up versus Slava. Because that first round, it was like, oh, this guy's slow as fucking shit.
Yeah.
But as the fight started building, he looked like that striker that you thought he was going to be. Maybe that was just a bad warm-up or something. But if he brings that speed in that he had in the first round against Slava, against Ruffy, he said, no bueno.
Yeah, I mean, he's very tough. This should be a showcase for Ruffy, by all means. But James is just a guy that's going to stay in your face and just keep moving forward and trying to make something happen. So I think you should be okay with the $9,600, but it does.
If you guys don't think that Angelo isn't Trey Fitty, you're mistaken.
Dude, I'll step on a scale in the vlog. I'm 260. Fucking idiot.
Trey.
Easiest thing in the world to
Fitty.
prove. I am 260. I'm 6'3", 260. And yeah, I got a little jiggle. I'm a fucking 40-year-old father of two. But I'm also training. I'm training tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. I'll see you there. You know the address. I'll see you there, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Just waiting for my gi.
You know, it's no gi.
I prefer gi.
Bring a bathrobe. You'll be fine. Next up, at UFC 309, we got Karine Silva taking on a Viviane Araújo. Karine Silva, 18-4 in her career, 5-0 in her last 5. She is coming off her first ever decision win. She's taking on Vivi. Vivi is 12-6 in her career, 2-3 in her last 5. She is coming off a decision loss. And this is probably a changing the guard kind of fight. Karine's the young up-and-comer, powerful grappler, constantly working for submissions both on top and on bottom if she ends up getting taken down. She has 18 wins. 17 of those are stoppages, and they're a mixed bag of ground and pound and submissions. They are all on the ground, though. She'll plot forward, high, tight guard on her feet, throw a flurry of punches, big power, rush in, body clinch, cage work, get you to the ground. Then she's just going to work for positions and then submissions. She is coming off that first decision win over Ariana Lipski, where she was able to work on the ground. She's taking on Viviane Araújo. She's also a grappler. She's very comfortable striking. Technical boxing, great low kicks. She does get hit pretty often. She's got that negative striking differential. She's athletic, fast, always looking for a finish, both standing and on the ground. But the conditioning can be an issue, and she does slow down late. She averages almost 2 takedowns per fight, an impressive 78% takedown defense. But I do think that's tested here. Both Karine and Vivi are very good fighters. This is a good matchup. It's a great test to see how good Karine actually is. I do think she's going to pass the test. I'm glad that we just saw her in a decision, because if she can't get Vivi out of there, she's going to need to continue to fight and continue to stay busy. And Vivi will slow down, so I'm not worried per se, but Karine Silva, biggest test of her career. She should get it done. I think she's going to come forward, get the takedowns, work on top. I wish she was a little more affordable, but frankly, at the end of the day, she's probably going to be worth it. What do you think, Jakey Boombalats?
Yeah, can I be honest with you and give you a little bit of a peek behind the curtains, I guess, to let you know, let the people know what really kind of gets me going? Because first of all, I mean, both these females absolutely beautiful. Right, Vivi, absolutely beautiful. And I've been on Vivi for a long time. We've talked about Vivi quite a number of times. Vivi was my girl back in the day, and obviously Karini is just, whew. Can I be honest with you and let you know what kind of gets me going, Angelo? I've got a thing for not only curly hair, because I do like curly hair, but especially when a girl usually always has straight hair and then randomly has wavy or curly hair. It gets me, man. So I see these, especially when you get the Brazilians with the curly hair too, and now I got a couple of them in front of me. Yeah, they fucking beautiful women. I tell you that. That's my guy. That's one of my things. A little bit of a curly hair, and they're rocking it both. I like Vivi. Vivi's a tough girl. She can probably get to the wrestling a couple times. The issue is she's going to be in danger with every single takedown, with every single sweep that Karini's supposed to hit. Karini's also dangerous in the striking, and Vivi does have decent hands to set the striking. Has been chinned, right, by Amanda Hebos. I was there, watched it live. UFC 285. Actually, after the fight, was able to get a picture with Amanda Hebos, and that was a good fight. But yeah, I don't know did I ever show you this before? I don't think I've seen that. That's incredible. I actually did a vlog too. Yeah, she was just walking through, and I was like, Amanda, and I had her shirt on. You can see I had the shirt on, and she was all excited there at UFC 285. But I mean, she sat down. Vivi was out grappling Vivi. And if Amanda's doing that, I believe that Karini is able to do that as well. I think they have the same level of expertise, and great picture, man. That's so great, and that's I had the beard too. The beard's coming back a little bit. And
that's a little too much beard.
I don't know. I disagree. I think that's right there. And now we're going to be in Tampa here in a month. Look out.
All right. Well, we're both on the Karini Silva side. Jacob, the way you just worded it with if Amanda was out grappling her, Karini will out grapple her, that actually is a solid way to look at it because both of them are very good grapplers. But Karini is big, strong, can push her way through things. And Amanda Hebos isn't always a bully. Obviously at flyweight, she can try to be, but she's not really a bully. She's relying on clean. And Karini can bully and have some clean. So Karini should get this done. I do wish she was a little more forward.
Karini's got to be careful too because Amanda, I think early in that fight was stuck in, was it a guillotine or an armbar or something? So Vivi's also can do some
very
stuff
good
as well. But yeah, I think the biggest point here is she does slow down, and she hasn't really seemed to. She's improved on that a little bit, but she does slow down. And once she starts slowing down against a girl like Karini, you're going to be in trouble.
100%. And Karini, we just saw in the last fight. It was her first decision ever. She didn't really slow down, and that was against Ariana Lipski, who just got finished and kind of pushed around by Jasmine Jasudavicius. But when they were striking, a little dangerous. So obviously there's 10 degrees of separation going on there, but we're both on the Karini Silva side. $9,200 in DraftKings Fantasy. If she gets the grappling going, it'll be worth it. Another real tricky price point. This card is dicey with the DraftKings Fantasy pricing. Luckily, we have guides, we have tools, we have a cheat sheet, we have an optimizer that will build DraftKings Fantasy lineups for you. We also have a ton of copy-paste bets that have been doing spectacular. We have picks, artificial intelligence, tools, everything you could ever want or need heading into a fight week. If you sign up right now, it is only $10 for an entire month. That month will include UFC 310 as well. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. $1.99 from Brian Velasquez. He says, can we get Jacob on Prize Picks? No. Brian, what the fuck, Brian? I've hit 2 of the last 3. And when the payouts are 3x, that's money. We're making money. What are you asking for him for? Nate B, $1.99. Ruffy has this one. Also, DM'd you on Discord, Ange. Hey, you know what's awesome, Nate? I'm live on the internet. I'm getting DM notifications. Appreciate it. I'll check it out. God knows what it says. Let's see what it says together. God knows what this says.
Hey, I'm looking. I signed up yesterday. I didn't get my $50.
That might be what it is. Oh, no, this is long. He wants to help out. I appreciate you. I'll read that and we'll take a look. I do get a lot of the $50. Hey, it takes a little while because it has to flow through the systems. Then I have to manual validate that you use the link, but everybody gets it. And if you signed up and you didn't get it, reach back out. Happy to always look it up. Take care of you. Next up at UFC 309, we got Bo Nickel taking on Paul Craig in the featured fight of the evening. This is the oddest line movement we have ever had in a Bo Nickel fight. His line was cut in half. Bo Nickel fights usually go the other way. They open at something kind of that resembles reasonable, and then they get ridiculous. In this case, it opened ridiculous, and now, not that minus 1,000 is reasonable, it's not the worst Bo Nickel line we've ever had. Bo Nickel, famously undefeated in his career, 6-0, all 6 are stoppages. Paul Craig, 17-8 in his career, 1-4 in his last 5. He's coming off back-to-back losses. We know Bo by now, multiple-time Division I national wrestling champion, a world champion in different regards for wrestling. He obviously is an incredible wrestler. He's transitioned to MMA. The wrestling skills have helped him. He's using every bit of those skills here. He does strike as little as possible.
Shit against Brundage.
Well, he subbed him. He does strike as little as possible. He has only landed 23 significant strikes in 6 professional fights. 23 significant strikes in 6 professional fights. That's insanely low. But that tells you how little he strikes. He comes forward, gets a hold of you, rips you to the ground, goes from there. He's coming off that second-round submission over Cody Brundage. Coolest part about that fight, though, is Cody had an underhook and, launched Bo out of there. Literally windmilled the underhook, and Bo flew against the cage, which is pretty cool to see. He's taking on Paul Craig. Paul Craig, very dangerous grappler, proven to be incredibly tough. He's never out of a fight. He has more than one win where his face was getting absolutely bashed in, and then he came from behind and pulled it off, including over Ankalaev, that absolute clown shoe. Essentially, if there's room to grapple, you got to worry a little bit with Paulie Craig. His striking is just okay, but he does have a little bit of power in there. Biggest issue is that his takedowns suck, so he can't make a fight go to the ground even if he wanted to. Kyle Barallo just absolutely dismantled him on the feet. The Bo Nickel game plan, he's going to win. We don't need to spend a ton of time. Who's going to win this fight? The game plan from Bo is going to be interesting, though, because this is the perfect guy to test your striking against. Cody Brundage has big one-punch knockout power. Val Woodburn has big one-punch knockout power. Now he's fighting somebody that doesn't really have big one-punch knockout power, and Bo Nickel might strike here. We may get a pretty favorable, significant strike lines on the prize picks, on the underdogs, bet online. I think DraftKings does that as well. Bo Nickel's going to win. I think I would be careful with the 1.5 round line. Everybody got burned on that in the Cody Brundage fight, and this fight might be deliberate. He's at a good team. He's at American Top Team. They might literally be like, we got to work your hands. You need to use your hands in fights a little more. Use your hands here. Bo Nickel's going to win, but game plan should be fun to watch. What do you think? Jakey Boomba Lots.
Yeah, I'm a known Bo Nickel hater. I think there's no questions or doubt about that. You watch that fight versus Cody Brundage. One person won the wrestling match. Another person won the fight.
Sure.
I think that Cody Brundage absolutely dominated this guy from bell to early stoppage in a fight and just ended up losing a wrestling match. So I have a lot of hate in my heart for Bo Nickel. I do think he's a little bit overrated. But after that fight and kind of what he's been saying lately about his career, honestly, I kind of like him.
He's got the right mindset for sure.
He does have the right mindset. He's not one of these young kids that's coming in, wins one fight. I'm going to be the champion. I want a title shot. Give me a title. I'm ready for this. I think this week he's like, if I win this fight, hopefully I can get another better guy. Win that fight, then maybe a ranked guy. Win that fight, then maybe a top 5 guy. And then I'll be ready for my title shot. So he's very self-aware about where he's at in his MMA career. And I think that makes him even more dangerous. Paul Craig, as much as I would like to say, he's going to take Paul Craig down, he's going to throw up a triangle, you submit him. Paul Craig is always going to be live for that type of situation. We did see, what's his name? The steroid jiu-jitsu guy put him in a triangle and stuff in a pure jiu-jitsu type
Gordon
match.
Ryan?
Yeah, Gordon Ryan. So you might try to
the
play
steroid jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, you might
That's
play,
exactly what he is.
You might play that card and see that and whatever. And if you want to throw some Hail Marys on Paul Craig, I get it. But Paul Craig is not a very good striker. He doesn't react well to getting hit. Bo Nickel has shown that he can throw a pretty good either left or right hand.
Knocked out Val Woodburn.
Yeah, and throw it right down the pipe. And honestly, that's all you really need to do against Paul Craig. Step into his shot, trust your accuracy, land it on his chin. It's going to fall to his back, make him stand up and do it again until he gives up. The biggest thing that I've seen from Paul Craig this week is He's kind of, he switched to 185. I'm gonna make a run. I think this is my new division. I can beat these guys, right? He's beat Ankalaev. He's beat these crazy guys. Now it's like, I want to. I think it was in the embed. He's like, I want to show that there's still some left in me. That type of talk, right?
Yeah.
He's starting to realize, okay, like maybe I just want to prove that I can still do this type of thing. It's like, all right, well, there's the mentality. No more championship mentality there, and Bo Nickel definitely has those aspirations. So I honestly think Bo Nickel just steps into a shot and knocks him out if he wants to.
I think this is a lot more striking here. I'm going to look a little closer at the props, both the daily fantasy props like Prize Picks and Underdog, but also when Bet Online drops the significant strike props, that's usually at the end of the week. I'm going to take a close look at that. I feel like I could be dead wrong. I just feel like they're going to say strike with him. He's dangerous on the ground. His striking sucks. You only landed 23 significant strikes in your entire career. Let's strike a little bit. So I think he's going to cruise past that.
Sometimes Gabe plans and instincts because Isaac.
Oh yeah, he'll just immediately.
Isaac Bulgarian was literally the game plan going in was they're going to strike a little bit. He's been working on striking, and then boom, takedown.
Just shot a takedown instantly. Yeah. No, it'll be interesting. I mean, this is a Bo Nickel win all day, every day, and just trying to find some value, see where we can make a couple of dollars here. But Bo Nickel, the win. Last thing I'll mention about Bo Nickel. After Khamzat literally smashed Robert Whittaker's mouth, people were like, Bo Nickel, save us. Dude, Khamzat beats Bo Nickel right now. Right now, Khamzat beats Bo Nickel. I like Bo Nickel.
What Bo Nickel said about that performance, too?
What?
About Chimaev smoking Whittaker?
What?
You know how typically people in his, we'd be like, oh, it's just, it is what it is. What do you think? What? He was like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, and like even just straight up wrestling, Bo Nickel's got some phenomenal credentials, but he's not an Olympian. He didn't qualify for the Olympics. He lost. Then obviously he was right there, but he didn't qualify. We watched Khamzat, obviously not wrestling. It's in training. Khamzat was smoking an Olympic gold medalist in the training room for Robert Whittaker. So I think a straight wrestling match, Khamzat could have some success. It's pretty crazy, but that's not this fight. Hopefully we do get that fight sometime in the future. If you do want to become a premium member, I actually do have a little bit of action on Bo Nickel right now if you want to check what that out is.
What weight did Bo wrestle at Penn State?
I think it was like 87, something like that.
It
wasn't 194 or whatever the hell that weight class is. He's a big dude. Yeah.
So 2016 was 174, 184, 184, then 197 in 2019. So I was just curious about, because it's not like he's a big muscular guy. I was curious about
he's just so long.
If he could cut down to 170. It sounds like he was close at least, but now he probably couldn't really.
Yeah, he's filling out. Yeah, and plus just that.
Chimaev is huge. I mean, he is
huge.
I can't believe he made 170. He was like, you watch him stand next to, because Robert Whittaker is not a small 185.
No, he towered over.
And he's just like fucking looking. I mean, just thicker than Robert Whittaker. It's like, Jesus, man.
No, it is crazy.
No wonder you were struggling, not only at 170, but at 185. You're a fucking massive dude.
No, it is crazy. If you do want to check out some of the action we got going on, I have a little bit going on with Bo Nickel. You can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It is $10 for an entire month. $1.99 super chat from Rhythms. He says, Bear Jew Underlock pick. If you don't know what that is, that's Paul Craig's nickname. Listen, Paul Craig's going to be, I already saw it in the live chat here, there's going to be a lot of people picking Paul Craig just to pick Paul Craig. But the reality is he's not going to win this fight. It's fun to pick him. He's just not going to win this fight.
He was one of the greatest lock of the weeks. One of the most fun lock of the weeks for sure. I think I had lost 4 in a row, and I've never lost 5 in a row, and I went with fucking Paul Craig.
And he won.
And he smoked them.
Next up, at UFC 309, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have a rematch. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira taking on Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira, 34-10 in his career. He is 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Arman Sarukian. He's taking on Michael Chandler, 23-8 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that canceled Conor McGregor fight. This is a rematch. The first fight ended with Charles Johnson finishing Michael Chandler. Charles Johnson is an all-timer. He's one of the most well-rounded fighters that has ever stepped foot in an octagon. He started his career as a bit of a journeyman, and you can see he's got 10 losses. That's not nothing. And only a few of them are like recent to super high level opponents. A couple of those losses are early in his UFC career and was a bit of a journeyman, couldn't really put them together. And then he did put it together. And then he became the world champion. He was dropping people, submitting people. His jiu-jitsu is all-time dangerous to the point where he has the most amount of submission wins in UFC history. He's got phenomenal striking, great ground game. He even averages more than 2 takedowns per fight. Charles Oliveira is a very dangerous guy, and we saw that when he already beat Michael Chandler. Even in his last fight, when Arman Tsarukyan took him down, he had Arman Tsarukyan in the guillotine real tight. I had Arman Tsarukyan in the safety parlay, and I was sweating that. And he's taking on Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's a very good wrestler, wrestled in college. Michael Chandler's also a very fun fighter. He's got real one-punch knockout power in his hands. He's got great pressure. He is not afraid to get into a fist fight. He has no kicks whatsoever. Sometimes he'll wrestle, sometimes he won't. He has some of the greatest fights of all time. If you have never seen Michael Chandler fight Eddie Alvarez, go watch them. They fought a couple of times, and both of them are all-timers. Michael Chandler, at this point in his career, is a fun guy. He comes out here, he puts on a show, he understands how he's going to get famous and how he's going to get paid and how he's going to do all those things. But he did just wait 2 years for Conor McGregor. And he was this close. It was booked. He was this close to a retirement payday, and Conor McGregor broke his pinky toe.
And I tried to tell you, I sat there and I tried to tell you forever that they were never going to fight.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, the narrative this week, not just from me, even though I put out the first video in this space on Sunday mornings, bright and early. Subscribe so you can see UFC China, bright and early, Sunday morning. But the narrative this week is if Michael Chandler fights smart, he can win this fight. And that is possible. We just watched Arman Tsarukyan win this fight in a very straightforward way that Michael Chandler potentially could. Head down, wrestle, stay safe. Problem is, you can't trust Michael Chandler to do that. A, he hasn't fought in 2 years. B, he's a fun guy. He puts on a show at every fight. He's also a little bit chinny. We watched him get subbed already. We watched him get knocked out. We've seen him lose this fight already. And I think he loses it again. With that being said, the pictures of him, this dude is in shape. The best shape of his entire career. He looks absolutely spectacular. And he might be at a point where he's like, I'm 37. I need to, if I'm going to do it, I got to do it now. So I am picking Charles Oliveira literally because we've seen this fight and he's been more active. But it's a little nerve-wracking, and I will probably be rooting for Michael Chandler. I love Michael Chandler, and and people are going to hate this, and they hated it when I picked Arman. I'm a bit of a Charles Oliveira doubter. Not a hater, but a doubter. What do you think, Jakey boy? Who are you picking?
Bronx. I don't know how Chandler wins this fight. Maybe that first fight, the way that he was able to chin Charles, because Charles would get dropped, but you never really see him get put out, right? We saw that he was able to survive even when he got dropped. If you blitz in, you're going to get hurt. If you take him to the ground, you're going to be in trouble. Charles has got his own takedowns. Chandler has shown that as good a shape as he can be in, sometimes the gas tank doesn't hold up because when you're getting punched in the face, the explosions that he tries to make, is he going to stand on the outside and outpoint Charles Oliveira? No, he's not going to fucking do that. That's just not his style. He wants to be explosive. He wants to be in. He wants to be out. He wants to throw the big shots. If you play smart, it's going to be big takedowns, and he's going to get in trouble with the grappling. I love Charles Oliveira. I think Michael Chandler, coming 2 years, is going to be a coiled fucking snake in there. Madison Square Garden. I don't care what game plan he thinks he's going to have. He's going to fucking get in there, charge across, try to land a big shot on Charles Oliveira, probably get countered. Or if he gets taken down, he might get swept or get in trouble on the ground. So I'm all over Charles Oliveira here. I just don't think Michael Chandler, that style got him that Conor McGregor fight. It's a shame that he didn't get that payday. I don't think it's ever going to happen for him now. And this could be the end for him.
Yeah, listen, I do think he can win this fight. I absolutely think he... Well, you just said he can knock him out. He could also out-wrestle him and just stay safe.
He's not going to out-wrestle him and stay safe. I said there might be a chance where he can knock him out, but he already landed the shot and it didn't work in the first one. So how else does he win? You think he can outpoint Charles Oliveira for 5 rounds?
He can knock him out. People's chins don't last forever. We just watched Max Holloway get knocked out. Charles Oliveira gets dropped all the time. Listen, I'm picking Oliveira, but my plea to people in the Quick Picks video was, don't go crazy parlaying Charles Oliveira 10 times over thinking it's free money because you've seen this fight.
Billy.
Angie's safe. $9,000 in DraftKings Fantasy. Well, he was worth that price last time they fought. And yes, it is 2 years, or Michael Chandler's 2 years removed from his last fight, so he should be rusty. So it should be Charles Oliveira. And if you want to throw him in your DraftKings lineup, you may have some success. If you think Michael Chandler's a very live underdog, I'll tell you right now, you need a little bit of exposure. You need a couple of big-time, large field tournament entries with a little bit of Michael Chandler in there because, dude, I don't think it's crazy. Like, I don't think it's crazy. If you want
losing lineups, listen to Angelo.
I don't think it's crazy. Also, people are saying, how is he going to make 155? He's always made 155. He's a 155-pounder. I don't understand this question, Mateo. Casual. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's freaking $10 for an entire month. A month. Let's go out the year with a bang. We're on an all-time heater right now. Let's run this streak through the rest of the year. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC 309, we have the main event of the evening, the second return of Jon Jones. Jon Jones has had more long layoffs than anybody. He's the youngest UFC champion of all time. He has the most amount of title defenses ever. I believe the number is 13. And he's done all of that with more than one multi-year layoff. It's crazy. The last time he fought, Jacob was there. That's where he got the picture with Amanda Hebos, was at Jon Jones's last fight against Cyril Gane.
I did.
That was 2 years ago.
I was at UFC 285, and after Amanda's fight where she beat Vivi, who's on this card, she was walking down. I had her shirt on. You can see the beard there is growing in, growing that back. But yeah, she saw my shirt, was excited, came over, took a picture, and hopefully we get to see her in Tampa.
Fancy. He's taking on Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic is the all-time heavyweight GOAT. They're billing this card as GOAT versus GOAT. And that's because Jon Jones is the greatest light heavyweight of all time, objectively speaking, arguably the greatest fighter of all time. Watch my hot take video for that opinion. And he's taking on Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic is quite literally, statistically speaking, the greatest heavyweight of all time. The most amount of heavyweight championship title defenses. So on paper, this is a spectacular fight, numbers versus numbers, but Stipe Miocic is not a very young guy. Jon Jones coming back after a 2-year layoff, and he fought for 1 single minute, and that was after a 3-year layoff. Stipe Miocic is coming back after a 4-year layoff. He is also a full-time fireman. Not only is he a full-time fireman, and good for him, because he's going to retire with a pension and get paid for the rest of his life. And my stepfather was a fireman, so good for our first responders. But not only is he a first-time fireman, he literally just worked a 24-hour shift, because that's what firemen have to work. He just worked a 24-hour shift on Saturday, this past Saturday, 4 sleeps ago. This guy was at the firehouse working. It's crazy. They're at different points in their careers. Jon Jones, I mentioned, the light heavyweight GOAT, most people's MMA GOAT. He's literally great everywhere. The JUCO National Wrestling Champion. Great striking differential. He's knocking people out. He's submitting people. He's taking down everybody. He out-wrestled Daniel Cormier, an Olympian. Out-wrestled him the both times they fought. He kind of sucks as a person, but this is fist fighting, not a personality contest. Stipe Miocic, I mentioned, greatest heavyweight of all time, statistically speaking. He's a very good boxer. He's got power, clean striking, a granite chin for the most part. Obviously, that got tested in his last fight. And he's got some offensive wrestling as well, 2 takedowns per fight. But he's coming off that 4-year layoff. This should be Jon Jones. Minus 700 is surprising. This should be minus 1,000, minus 1,500. And I know a lot of people are going to be rooting for Stipe. And I totally get that. And people hate Jon Jones more now than ever because he's basically saying, hey, I'm going to win this fight. I'm probably going to give up the belt and go down to light heavyweight and fight Alex Pereira. So everybody's saying, oh, he's ducking Tom Aspinall. So I don't know what's going to happen after this fight, but I do know what's going to happen in this fight. Jon Jones wins. I don't know if we get out of the first round. Jon Jones is going to be the pick. Those odds are honestly a gift given the circumstances. And he looks spectacular. Last thing before I hand it over. When he fought Cyril Gane, he looked a little soft. Obviously, he was up at heavyweight from light heavyweight. He looks great in this fight camp. What do you think, Jakey Boombalats?
Yeah, I think that 24-hour shift just shows that he's just a hard-working son of a bitch. You know, he's full-time job but still training. I think that only works in his favor. It's not like he's going to be fucking tired a few days later. He's a hard-working son of a bitch. And I honestly fully think that people forget, for somehow reason, that Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time. People talking about Stipe. Listen, I know that he's a little bit older and stuff like this and that. This guy knows what the fuck he is doing. This guy knows how to fucking box. He knows how to make adjustments. He knows how to be tough. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to counter wrestle. He knows how to defensive wrestle. And when I watch Jon Jones, right, the Jon Jones that I know, and I'm new to the game, Angelo. We've talked about this. My first fight card was Holly Holm and Ronda in your condo in Florida. So I'm new to the game. So the only Jon Jones I know is a guy that is struggling and arguably lost against Dominic Reyes, right? Who went through a split decision versus Thiago Santos with 2 blown-out knees, who should have lost the belt to Anthony Smith when he illegally kneed him in that type of fight. Fought a lost in the stars Cyril Gane, and honestly, I was all over Gane in that fight. I had bets on Gane in that fight. And in the first 15, 20, 30 seconds of those exchanges, wasn't there a nut shot early on or something weird happening?
I just remember the instant takedown.
But in that first 20, 15, 20, 30 seconds, I was like, oh, Gane's going to win this fight because Jon Jones he looked slow as shit in the strike. And if he comes in heavyweight style, and he's already kind of alluded to it in the embedded, talking about my cardio isn't the same at 205 and I'm trying to do some things different and it's harder to carry this weight with the cardio. If he comes in, looks sluggish with the hands, has to default to the wrestling, and all of a sudden Stipe is still hanging around because he knows how to wrestle and counter wrestle, and Jon Jones isn't the most dangerous guy in the world anymore. I know people expect, oh, here comes the 12-6 elbows, and maybe that happens, but it's not like he's grabbing your back and choking you out and doing all this type of stuff. He's going to be more control. And if Stipe is able to stay alive in the wrestling and all of a sudden is extending these rounds, and Jon Jones is already questioning his cardio coming into this fight, and now he can't get the takedowns, and now all of a sudden you're going to do some math on your fingers of, well, Jon won the first 2 rounds, but the 3rd round was close, and Stipe's winning this round, and what's Jon going to look like in the 5th round? I would not be surprised in the slightest if this is a closer fight than people expect. I am not betting Jon Jones at these odds. I might take a stab at Stipe. I do believe that Jon is going to win this fight because of just that mentality that he has. He's going to be able to work through whatever situation. He wants to be known. This is a big legacy fight. And Stipe has already kind of filled that void of his career, right? He's already known as like the greatest heavyweight of all time. So but people forget that Stipe knows what the fuck he's doing. Like, I understand he's old. The guy was the greatest heavyweight of all time. Wrestling people, knocking people out, taking shots. And Jon Jones isn't the most dangerous guy. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if this is a fucking grind out fight. Honestly, I hope it is. But my pick is Jon Jones.
Yeah, I listen, I would love a long, drawn-out fight. And, dude, a Stipe upset would be awesome. It would be awesome. Because I'm just not looking forward to the drama coming from Jon Jones winning this fight and then not fighting Tom Aspinall next. That's going to be so annoying. And then we're going to have to hear it forever. Because the problem is the new fans, like you, for example, I'm not saying this like rudely, the new fans who have only seen Jon struggle and inconsistent are just going to completely ignore everything he did and be like, Tom Aspinall's the good. It's like, dude, Tom Aspinall hasn't done shit. He hasn't done fucking shit. Jon Jones has done everything.
Yeah. It's hard to ignore his resume. There's no.
It's crazy, dude.
And I'll be honest, I think this is the first time I've ever picked Jon Jones. I literally have picked against him every single time. I picked fucking Anthony Smith against Jon Jones because the only Jon Jones I know is a guy that's barely winning fucking decisions. So I'm like, fucking, okay. So this is the only time I'm picking him, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, and just a reminder, and watch my hot take of who the greatest fighter of all time is. I think it's a good video. Check it out. I break down some things. First of all, Jon Jones, in theory, has a couple of losses, reasonably speaking. He basically lost to Chael Sonnen. Jon Jones's pinky toe was crooked, facing the wrong direction, bone sticking out. He finished Chael with like 10 seconds, 20 seconds left in the round. If he didn't, that fight was going to get stopped. That's a fluke, obviously. Dana White himself said he thought Jon Jones lost to Anthony Reyes. So that fight, Dominic, I knew that sounded wrong, to Dominic Reyes. And then obviously he has the loss against Matt Hamill. That's where that one is. That was a
split decision versus no knees Thiago. People forget about that one.
Thiago came forward, stayed in his face, made it happen. But Jon Jones is one of the greatest fighters to ever live. The only reason you would not call him the greatest fighter of all time is because he did piss hot and he straight up failed for steroids. Not cocaine, dick pills, straight up steroids. So if you factor that in, you don't want him to call him the GOAT, fine. But if you remove that from the equation, you feel like, everybody's juicing, who cares? He really is. The youngest champion of all time. And if you have been watching this sport as long as I have, dude, he beat everybody good. Everybody good. He beat Glover. Glover went on to be the champion. He beat Glover. He beat literally more champions than anybody has ever done. He beat Lyoto Machida when he was Lyoto Machida. He beat Shogun when he was Shogun. He beat Glover when he was Glover. He beat everybody.
Ryan Hall beat PJ Penn.
Ryan Hall beat a 40-year-old, just got a DUI the week before PJ Penn.
Smoked his ass.
This is going to be a, listen, I don't think it's going to be a competitive fight. It's going to be a fun fight, name recognition-wise. The fighting at Madison Square Garden, Jon Jones, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. If you want
to President Trump shows up?
100% that guy's there. He said he's going to be there.
I know, but
Dana White spoke at the freaking the win ceremony. Whatever the hell
that's gonna be wild. That's gonna be fucking wild.
The place should go crazy because it's UFC fans, but that's not the way that state voted.
Every time he walks into any of those UFC fights, they go fucking.
Dude, I was at political thoughts aside, I was at UFC whatever the hell last year, Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez, and Trump walked in. There is something crazy about there's the former president of the, you know what I mean? There's something crazy about, I don't care who it is.
It's called aura.
That guy is it is aura. It's that guy is in the same room. This is crazy. That's the freaking president.
You know where I felt that?
Where?
No, it was at 285, but Conor was there. Conor was sitting in front row, and that's a picture of him sitting in front row where his wife is rubbing his chest and stuff like that when they do the camera or whatever. But Conor was there, and I was in the lower section, so only 20 rows up. So Conor's just right there, and you could sense that. I mean, that's aura. That's fucking. You could sense Conor was just there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. There is something cool about that. We do have a $1.99 super chat from Kevin. Did you see they're going to use the old gloves? Yeah, we touched on that a little earlier, Kevin. They're going back to the old gloves. We don't know why. There's no official word. Could literally be the commission saying we didn't approve the new ones. Could be the UFC doing a pivot because there haven't been enough knockouts. Although, weird time to do that because the last card there was nothing but finishes. Or Jacob said there was, I don't know if this is a real rumor or somebody just mentioned it and you repeated it, that Jon Jones was nah, I want the old gloves, so that's what they're doing. So yeah, they are using the old gloves. Maybe that affects a couple of fights.
I'm glad the gold gloves was a good idea, but I think it's corny. It looks stupid with the blue and the red tape on there. Honestly, what they should do is they're doing all the custom fight kits. Imagine if they had custom gloves too. That'd be fucking badass.
Custom gloves would be sweet.
That'd be fucking badass, matching with the fucking kits and stuff.
That would be really cool. The dumbest shit I ever saw in my entire life though was the gold floor for UFC 200. That was hard to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't even gold. It was just it was a mustard
weird
yellow.
Yeah, it was gross. It was so stupid. That's why they were.
What about the old school blue one? Do you like the blue one? The old Aldo highlight tapes?
That's WEC. Yeah. I didn't mind the blue one. Yeah, blue ones were cool. WEC, sure.
Who's the only football team to have a blue turf?
An NFL team?
No, college.
Oh, well then
they banned it. I think they're grandfathered in though. No, Boise State.
Oh. Yeah, no.
I think they're grandfathered in. I think the NCAA was because on TV it's a rough watch.
Looks horrible. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it's funny because
sometimes they wear all blue uniforms with the blue blue turf too. It's you see fucking shit.
When we did the tour of the Star where the Cowboys their headquarters is, they walked through all their uniforms and it shows the back in the day uniforms when TVs weren't great. The actual uniform colors are ridiculous. But they're that color because on TV they looked a certain way. And it's pretty cool.
You know what's so funny about the Star and the tours and stuff? Do you know who always talks about that, references that?
Me?
Pat McAfee now. That's a big
He
thing.
Goes to this. What?
No, it's a big thing because they found out that they do tours. So now they always make fun of the Cowboys for struggling because you got all these people doing tours during practice. No, there's Dak doing this. And there's pay attention, guys. You're trying to focus during practice. Here comes another tour. Say hi to the tour. So Pat McAfee always brings that up.
They might shut him down, honestly, out of spite. Like, literally shut him. They shut him down for 2 years during COVID. $1.99 super chat from None of Your Business. John Jones versus Stipe, bare knuckle, different outcome. Yeah, Stipe will win a bare knuckle match for sure, but this allows wrestling, so this is very different. I think Stipe would smoke him in bare knuckle. John Jones is a good striker, but bare knuckle is only boxing, and Stipe is the better boxer. Guys, that's the breakdown. We flexed over 700 live viewers. Thank every single one of you for all the support.
Like the stream if you haven't already. Likes help out. Likes help out.
Likes help out. And if you're not premium, become premium. You're going to get the copy-paste bets. You're going to get the tools like the data analyzer, the line movement tracker, the prop hunter, the DraftKings optimizer preloaded with the ownership projections, and Artie Baby, who just picked the perfect card. But he doesn't just break down UFC. During the break, right, we get a couple weeks off between the last card of this year and the first card of next year. During the break, there will be other fight promotions on other sides of the world. Artie Baby's going to have his breakdowns, picks, and bets for those fights. WeWantPicks.com. Click Becoming Member. It's freaking $10 for an entire month. What the hell are we doing? And if you want 50, I'll send you 50. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make your deposit. We'll send you $50 as a thank you. Any last words for the peepees? I don't know why the fuck I said peepees. For the people.
What kind of Freudian slip there, boys? Wow, the stream's about to end. I wonder what's on Angelo's mind.
Hands up.
Now we know that screaming from the closet was. Holy guacamole. You asked me if I have anything. I'm not sure. You know, we got Lock of the Week hopefully coming out tomorrow. That should be exciting. Get back on track, even though Lock of the Week last week kind of hit, right? We're not going to count it as a win, but I mean, I told you guys about Melissa. I was very high on I told you guys about Melissa. And we're still undecided about the live stream Saturday. So if you want the live stream Saturday, leave a comment. Or if you don't want the live stream Saturday, leave a comment as well. So make sure you leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you're new. And I appreciate you guys. It's been a rough couple weeks for me, and the streams have gotten me through a lot of shit. So,
well, we appreciate you, Jakey boy, for everything you do, and everybody who's watching. Thank you all very much. A lot of content coming up the rest of this week. Probably doing a call-in show on Thursday.